We're live. Welcome to the show. I'm in my hotel room with Nick Rekieta. Those are famous last words, everybody. Hopefully this audio is working all right. Seems like we might be a little hot. All right, there we go. All right, welcome to the program, Nick. Test your mic.
Hey, there we go. I can see me now. I wasn't sure the camera was on.
They're on, and they're going. Well, we just wrapped up a few hours ago. I've been trying to do what I can for the people for when I get home with content. So I've gone to 3 locations. One of them is known publicly, Stoney's. We did go out there.
You know, that was a first for me.
To go to Stoney's?
No, to get thrown out of a place.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even.
We're
do
not
anything.
burying the lead here. Jesus Christ. Anyway, welcome to the fucking program. Nick Rekieta is here. We're doing it. We're having it. And I don't even know where to start with this.
It's a nothing day, ticky-tack nonsense that no one cares about.
Yeah.
And it's all over now.
Doesn't matter because the conditions are over today.
Yeah, everything's over. I mean, why would they?
Unfortunately, there's a new set of conditions.
How could they possibly do that?
I better grab my notepad out. I have all my court notes here. Because you're not allowed to record. We were threatened multiple times. There is bad news. I will say that right off the top. There is bad news. The plan, they're going out and buying a 360 camera so that we don't miss Aaron coming into the courtroom. It was just pissing rain. It was just pouring rain. There was no way to set up out there and capture Aaron coming into court. I got him coming out of his car and walking into the building from the window above. It's very shitty. But Aaron knew that we were going to be recording, and he knew that we were there. There ended up being about 15 people there. I don't want to say they were all Aaron Imholte A-loggers or NLO fans. There were a lot of NLO fans. I'm sure a couple of the people were probably anti-Nick, Kiwi Farms people, mostly because they didn't introduce themselves and they were kind of quiet. We didn't see Mama Kay. I didn't see her.
I didn't see her. She's easy to spot, kind of goblin-esque.
Goblin-esque. But yeah, so the whole plan and purchasing the camera for Aaron to come in just didn't manifest itself. It just was like the weather was just dog shit. It was really bad.
It was dumping rain.
So we plan to go up and stay. There's 3 courtrooms upstairs. Aaron was in one of them. His hearing was in one of those. So we were all hanging out. Paul Shea, I'm sure a lot of people have video of us all hanging out. And the plan was to get him coming off the elevator and going into the room. His lawyer, Todd Peterson. Scott Peterson's a different guy. Todd Peterson. Although Todd Peterson's also killing his baby right now. Todd Peterson peeked out of the hotel room after Aaron walked in the building, and I knew what that was. That was Aaron texting Todd from downstairs and saying, "Are there people up there filming?
Please leave me."
Todd peeked out of the room, saw me recording, or at least aiming my phone at the elevator, and immediately gave me one of these, and then went back into the courtroom. Comes out a second later with his briefcase. This time I did record him walking to the elevator, and I said, "Is that your client downstairs?" or something like that. And he didn't turn, and he didn't look at me, and I just said, "Sometimes bad things happen to people." And he didn't turn around and look. A million people were filming. Everyone who was up there was filming, with the exception of Paul Shea, who was diligently already before the hearing working on his article, pen and pad.
The article, it'll get a ton of traction apparently because he's Blockbuster, baby.
Box office.
Box office, yeah.
Blockbuster's out of business. That's not
There's
good.
one left.
But so, and you weren't around for all this, Nick. So that's why I just want to lead up to the point where you entered the courtroom. But So we're all planning, and I thought to myself, okay, they might try to come up the staircase because the stairwell was closer to the courtroom. So they could like pop out the stairwell. Everybody had their cameras aimed at the elevators and make a mad dash and enter the courtroom. As it turns out, there's a back way. There must be a back stairwell, maybe a back elevator. Aaron called his lawyer to come downstairs, much like Kevin Brennan needing Stevie Lou to walk him from the hotel room down to the casino. And they were convening downstairs instead of in the room upstairs where they're supposed to convene. Both sides have a room, a private room right outside the courtroom where they can kind of get together and meet. I think you and Kayla were in one of those with your victim advocate.
Correct.
And so Nick and Kayla arrived and they went into their room to, for the pre-hearing stuff with their victim advocate. And I imagine at some point the prosecutor. At some point, we sent some people down because we knew Aaron and his lawyer were talking downstairs. And Aaron and his lawyer then ran behind some closed doors, and he snuck him up the back way into the courtroom. And we found out Aaron was already in the courtroom. And there's no recording devices. You can't have your phones in the courtroom. So there's literally no footage of Aaron. I did make a note here for people who are fashion conscious of what he was wearing. He went with the maroon suit jacket. He wore a black shirt, gray pants, and black shoes. I did not get to see the tie because he was facing forward the entire time. But that's the fashion statement he chose to make. Red is a bold choice for a suit for a defendant. I don't know if that's... Dude, you're not looking for a pop of color when you're...
No, you should... If you want something colorful as a suit, as a defendant, you can do... Like, what I did was you wore a plum. You could wear, like, plum or, like, a navy, something like that.
I don't know if you want to look like a black preacher. When you're
I always want to look like a black preacher. What are you talking about?
When you're being defended. Or when you're... So that's what happened.
The red was funny. And it was funny because... how proud he was that he had picked that out the day he made his plea. Remember that?
I did make a note here that the suit jacket appears to have a cigarette burn or some sort of burn on the back left shoulder where the back meets the shoulder seam. I walked in, as we all did, and I chose to sit right behind Aaron. At several points... the woman who came, who was in our chat earlier, Juju G or something like that, I was making her laugh because I was kind of where Aaron could hear it, right behind him, just going like, "We want toe, we want toe." And I did attempt to make courtroom sketches. I tried to, have a little fun. As you know, this thing started very late, and then there was actually some action. So I'm going to break down. This is my first attempt at a courtroom sketch of what I saw of Aaron from behind. It's not great.
You need more shading.
But I decided to go back and take another swing at it because, again, we had so much time.
You don't have to make swing jokes while I'm here. Like, you don't have to do that to me.
Sorry. This is
his posture.
That's the cigarette burn on his suit. His posture was awful. I'm very fat. I don't look flattering sitting on this sofa in front of an Adonis like Nick, of course. But he was slumping. All his neck rolls were muffin topping over his collar. What I noticed that I'd never noticed before is how beady his eyes is. They almost bulge out of the socket. That was interesting to see. And just his features are severe, is how I would describe them. They're just the chin, he's just a severe faced man.
So for as much time as I spent with this person, I didn't notice that until the Hackamania video that he sent in for Vito when he wasn't wearing the
His
headphones.
glasses.
And
He had no glasses.
Right, and he looked like every gym teacher from a '90s movie, except without any muscles.
Right.
And it was just, it was so weird seeing him. I was like, God, that doesn't even look like him. It looks like a plastic doll. And he looks the same now. Like,
it was surreal. Even so, he never looked at me. He never saw me. And I was just one row away from him. The courtroom only has 3 rows of benches. I sat right behind him, and it was just surreal being in the same room. I kept clicking my pen right behind his head I know he had to know I was right behind him because he was taking little furtive glances left and right, and I was nowhere to be seen.
I was wondering if he would look back at us, but he never did.
And I just kept clicking my pen. The bailiff kept looking at me because I would raise it up when I did it. I was going like this. I was going like click, and I thought that was pretty funny. So the things got underway a little late, and I'll answer. I know questions are coming in on Super Tip and stuff. Feel free to ask any questions you want. We'll answer them to the best of our ability, but I'm going to go through while this is fresh and just give you everything meticulously that I have. I have a note here that says, I don't know what it says.
So I can say something real quick. It started really late because they had a pre-hearing conference between the two. You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah. So right off the top, before it started, Aaron's lawyer, the prosecutor, and the judge went into chambers, and they were in there for, I estimate, 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's accurate.
And so we're all sitting out there just going like, what the fuck? And this is when I started having fun, just doing courtroom sketches and going like, we want toe behind them. And
oh, that's right. Aaron didn't go into chambers. His lawyer.
No, he sat there.
Right. Yeah. Because in my brain, I was like,
did you know what was going on? What were you told? Fill us in from your perspective of.
I can't.
I imagine the victim advocate doesn't really know anything.
The victim advocate doesn't know much of anything. They're there to support the victim,
right?
In like basic things. She brought water. You know, she's just
she let you know when it was okay to come in when Aaron wouldn't see you, and
right, yeah, and she just was making sure Kayla was okay. That was her entire role, and she was great.
So Nick and Kayla weren't in the room at this time, and so they come out from behind the doors around 20 minutes in, and Todd comes up to Aaron. The prosecutor sits down on her side of the courtroom. The judge goes to the bench. The Todd Peterson comes out. He's a mousy,
1,000-year-old.
Yeah, old mousy looking guy is the only way I can describe him. He comes up to Aaron. He goes, "Can I see you outside for a minute?" So Aaron and him get up and go. And shortly after, I hear them walk into the, I don't know what you call that, the entryway, the foyer to the courtroom. There's like a double doors, and then there's a little area. Again, it goes off into the two sides where there's little conference rooms for the prosecution and defense. And then there's another set of double doors into the actual courtroom. I hear them talking out there for a minute, and then I think they realized you guys were in the next room. So they went somewhere else. They actually exited the courtroom fully. And out into the hallway or something.
We couldn't hear them. Like,
still, I understand
but
it.
Yeah,
or maybe they went
to
the other room or something, whatever it is. And
I would too if I was his lawyer.
At this point, Mark, who's the fan of ours that was instrumental in providing a lot of information, he told me exactly where Aaron would park. I didn't announce this all on the show, obviously, because I didn't want Aaron to change it up. But he told me where Aaron would park. He parked one space over, and only because there was a car in the place he told him he would park. He told me Aaron decided not to get there an hour early. I think that was smart of him. It would just prolong his torture if he had to sit up there with us and wasn't able to be escorted up. But basically, he bitched out. He told his lawyer to come take me up the back way, Daddy. And not in a good way. And
he might be saying that more soon. I don't know.
So they go out and they have this conference, and they're gone for 10 or 15 minutes as well. And Mark starts getting up, and he goes out there, and they're nowhere to be seen, I guess. And Mark comes in, he's like, it's over. They left. Aaron left. Like, they decided it in the back. It's all settled, and everybody left. And I go, that's not how court works. Even if they were to make a deal in the judge's chambers, they have to come out and enter it into record.
Yep.
Like, in the courtroom. They have to come out and, like make it a thing.
Judge, what'd you guys do? Nothing?
Yeah, exactly. So I tried to tell him that. I don't think he heard it. He went and sat back down, and he was, and then at some point, we're all just sitting there. The court reporter, the judge, the court clerk, and the bailiff. Do I have those right? The clerk, the
court reporter was not there today.
Okay.
It was probably the judge's legal assistant.
Sidekick. Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever. I thought I had it right. Anyway, so we're all just sitting there twiddling our thumbs, wondering what the fuck is going on. Aaron's out convening. So Mark raised his hand. Oh. This is insane. Mark raised his hands and just goes, "Can I ask a question?" The bailiff hops up, runs over there, and goes, "This is inappropriate." He's like, "Is it over? Is it done?"
That's amazing.
And we're just like, what the fuck? At some point, I forgot to mention this, at some point before Aaron and his attorney went into the chambers, before Aaron's attorney went into chambers even initially, Todd walked over to the bailiff and was talking. And then the bailiff comes over to the gallery and says, "How many people are here for the Imholte hearing?" Just like that. And everyone raised their hand except one guy. And he said, "You have to identify why you're in what you're in court for." And the guy who didn't raise his hand stood up and walked out. And the bailiff was like, "You don't have to leave. You can just." So everyone just raised their hand.
I'm not telling you why I'm here.
He left. He never came back.
It's not that important to me.
I don't understand. It's like you're raising your hand by leaving. It's insane.
So weird.
So and he goes, "Okay, well, we've had problems with this case, and there is a standing order from the judge that you cannot have electronic devices in the courtroom at all. Yeah, and if you are caught with an electronic device, you'll be held in contempt." So now we're all just sitting with our phones off in our pocket going like, what the fuck? By the way, my key fob is an electronic device, and e-cigarette is an electronic device. What are we doing here?
It's so they take any harassment charges really seriously, typically, and then I guess with the bad conduct of Ethan Oliver Ralph, who streamed Aaron's first hearing, the judge took extra precaution because this courtroom does allow you to bring in electronic device, just it cannot be used.
I read the policy on their website.
Yeah, and it's posted on the courtroom door.
Turned off. It doesn't even say it's supposed to be turned off on the door. It just says no recording or video.
Yep, no use.
So yeah, they don't even want you tweeting or anything. So like, he said, so if you have a phone or anything and we find out, you'll be in trouble. And this is the same bailiff who, by the way, earlier was in the lobby area outside where we were all just waiting outside the elevator for Aaron to film. And we were like fucking around with him a little bit because I was like, "You got a big celebrity case today." And he's like, "Who?" And I was like, "Aaron Imholte from Steel Toe Radio."
Don't you know?
And he's like, I don't know. Nobody knew who the guy was. So, and every time somebody got off the elevator, this is before we knew he was snuck up, every time somebody got off the elevator, it'd either be a new fan showing up to watch, or it would be somebody for another case.
You guys all turned around in unison when I watched.
We wasted the good surprise on you.
It's so funny.
So yeah, so that was funny. So we all got up immediately and left the courtroom. I think Aaron really thought like, this will get him. But we all just were like, okay, one of us is just going to hold all of our phones, right? And be outside the room. And again, this was Mark, and he took all the phones down and put them in his car. That would have been a hot car to rob for about 30 minutes. I didn't know he was going to do that because he's a little handicapped. And I was like, great, this is going to take for fucking ever to get my phone back, and I'm not going to be able to record Aaron leaving. I had to put my backpack in a locker.
I had to borrow a quarter from the guy at the conveyor belt thing.
Yeah, so did I.
Because I was like, they come up and tell me, at 1:45, the victim advocate's like, the judge just issued an order that you can't bring any electronic devices even into the room. So you could leave them in the conference room, but I wouldn't recommend it. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? And she's like, well, you either got to get a locker or go to your car. I'm like, I don't have a quarter. I don't even know what those are.
He said you can put your backpack in a locker. And I was like, oh, great. And he's like, it just costs $0.25. And I go, I don't have $0.25. And he goes, you don't have $0.25? And I go, I mean, I have money. I don't mean that I'm destitute. I just mean
it's weirder to me that people do have quarters.
And then so this officer hands out quarters.
Yeah,
for the locker. Like they have them there.
I know.
So the locker's free.
That was weird. It was like,
it's like, there's probably a mechanism in those to like just turn that off.
They have these little tools that go and you just go in and it registers a quarter drop. Like, I don't know why they don't just have one of those and do it.
Either way. So, so we all gave our phones to Mark and immediately went back in. I have a note here that when the bailiff made the announcement, that anybody with a phone had to leave, there were 12 people in the room. And after everybody walked back in, there were 15. So it worked, Aaron. More people showed up somehow. At some point, there was a reporter there. I don't know if you were in the room for this. There was like 2 people who came in late, and one of them was dressed in like, he had a jacket with patches on the elbows and stuff. And they were like, all right, you guys are late. What is all this? Are you a reporter? Because I guess he had a recorder out. And he said, yes. So I don't know what outfit he was from. Paul Shea was there for work covering the story, so I imagine he's writing a new article as well. And he goes, yeah, just put the recorder away. You can't record. And I'm like, you just made all of us get rid of our phones.
Yeah, that's weird.
But he can keep the recorder? So anyway, I guess if you say you're a reporter, but I mean, according to the First Amendment, we're all press. No, like we're like, can't we all?
Yeah, I mean, there is no there is no quote unquote legitimate press. It's just, anybody is. The citizen press is the press.
Yeah, so I didn't understand that. He got to keep it. We all just looked at each other like, all right, I guess that's fine. So Aaron and his lawyer comes back in. The judge is on the stand, and I see Todd Peterson do this. This was insane. He looks up at the judge and he goes, thumbs up, thumbs up. I don't even think she saw it. She was looking down because he sat down next to Aaron again. And I knew just something changed. They were in the back talking, the prosecutor, Todd Peterson, and the judge. And then Aaron and him went out, and I go, something's up. Like something changed. Like, and bad for Aaron because what if they were just there to do the plea deal, slap on the wrist for the violations, it wouldn't have been all that.
No.
And I'll get to the moment you walked in a minute, but like, so I knew something was up, and so the judge goes, Mr. Peterson, are you ready? So she didn't see the thumbs up at all. And so they go, yes, Your Honor. So Aaron and him got up and slinked to their chairs and sat down. And it was that point the victim advocate, who had been standing in the back, went and got you and Kayla, told somebody to scoot down so that you guys would have seats. And you come in, and I look over at you, and you look over at me with a grin on your face, and you just mouth these words, watch this.
So I can't get into...
He just goes, watch this.
I can't recount the words specifically, but the prosecutor came and visited with Kayla and I before the hearing. What I can tell you is that her main purpose was to say, we're probably not going to have the sentencing hearing today. It looks like we're just going to deal with the release condition violations. And
it's great how they merged those two hearings, Aaron.
And so that's going to push the sentencing to a much later date. And they checked with us to make sure that the date range that they estimated it would be, that we didn't have any conflicts, so that Kayla could be there if she wants to be there. And then they were saying, you don't have to, you're not going to read your statement today or anything because there's no sentencing hearing. So if you don't want to come in, you don't have to. But if you want to go in and watch, you do. And I was like, you can stay out here if you want, but I really want to go in and see what happens.
Well, spoiler alert, later it did seem like they did have an option to get sentenced today, but it would not have gone well.
No, not well at all.
The general tone, I'll just let you know, everything Aaron has said about this prosecutor being friendly and cordial and professional, this bitch ain't on side. This bitch is not.
She's a lot younger than I expected.
She's not friendly with Aaron. She doesn't think this is all horseshit lawfare. She's 100% taking this seriously. Let it be known, and I'll get to the notes in a minute.
So is the judge.
Every single thing that every troll or whatever you want to call yourselves, public, reporters have sent into this woman, she has received, she has cataloged reports of violations on his show, reports of him mentioning Kayla on his show directly or indirectly, clips with timestamps. She got it all. She's on top of it. So that's not falling on deaf ears. Every time Aaron says like, oh, people are just sending stuff in, just trying, she's getting it and it's working. Aaron can try to spin this like the prosecutor's so friendly and professional and he really appreciates her and she'll be the next Miss Imholte all he wants. But that is not the case.
My favorite line was from the judge right away. The court.
We're not even to that yet.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot you have notes.
Yes. So the prosecutor starts, and she basically says, Aaron Imholte has repeatedly violated conditions. That she gets sent information almost daily of violations, again, with videos, with timestamps, with summaries.
It's important to note she called them violations. She did not say with allegations of violations.
Right. No, she hasn't.
And she's the prosecutor has determined that these are violations. Like the court would have to agree, obviously.
100%. 100%. She goes, it is the recommendation of his court. Do you know what his previous bail was? When he was arrested before, and
I thought his previous bail was $50,000, and then
maybe that was conditional or unconditional, and then the 20
it was 75 unconditional, is what, because she asked for 100 originally, and it was and the judge gave her 75.
So he's already got a bond where he's had to pay $5,000 for.
Yes, and it looks like he had to pay another $5,000 today.
So she goes, we immediately recommend to raise his, we recommend he be remanded into custody at the conclusion of this hearing. Basically, arrest him at the end of this hearing. That ain't good. As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh no.
You know, when Todd Peterson told him that he was going to be arrested at the end of the hearing, that he basically shit that maroon suit. Like
he was just like, I just told everybody how difficult it is to go to jail in Minnesota. This can't be happening. To raise his bail to $100,000 unconditional, $50,000 conditional, and take him into custody immediately. That he's shown a record of ongoing reckless behavior throughout his entire release, like from the beginning. So this isn't something that popped up. For people who want to know, was this a specific thing that popped up that caused this? No. She said he's shown throughout his entire release, throughout the whole case.
Even prior to conditions being set.
Complete reckless ongoing behavior. And he's had numerous police reports. I imagine this is every time he had a violation that Kayla was made aware of. She was told to make police reports. Yes.
So she and I together, I did not want to make police reports. I wanted to talk to the person who did the probation stuff, but we didn't get
That's not how it works.
We didn't get that person's information until last week. Or no, 2 weeks ago, I believe.
So
we've made three police reports.
So he's been reported to the police for these violations 3 times. This is just, they want a record of it. They want it on paper for the judge that this has occurred. Also, this gets rid of spurious reports, I guess, through a non-official source. When you file a police report, it's a crime to lie to the police.
Right. And the officers investigate your report and then they pass it on to the
court,
to the attorney.
Got it. She mentioned the numerous emails she gets on a daily basis, and documents and recordings with timestamps. Again, she mentioned numerous violations. She said he has violated the court orders countless amounts, and every time he's crossing the line of what the court has ordered, and it's very clear that he is not taking it serious. Those are the words she used.
There's one more specific line that I think matters. She said there are more than enough violations to cross what we consider harassment under the law. She's very specific. Like, this has gone. This isn't a one-time thing. There are tons of things that they have determined to be violations.
At that point, the judge handed it over to Todd Peterson. This was.
Can I say something right before you describe Todd Peterson's speech?
Yes.
I used to think that Todd Peterson was competent and that Aaron was retarded and just didn't understand what his attorney was telling him. And so he was coming out and spinning. After the letter that he sent earlier this week or last week or whatever, and then his performance in court today, I was just like, nope, he hired the most idiotic defense attorney I've ever encountered. And that includes me.
Again, the prosecutor just listed off all these things. Again, the notes I have are ongoing behavior throughout the entire case from beginning to end, numerous police reports, emails, documents, and recordings, social media posts, numerous violations, countless amounts crossing the line, and he's definitely not taking it seriously. This gets handed over to Todd Peterson. I shit you not. This man goes, Your Honor, my client is a homeowner. Why not say his credit score, you fucking retard? Like, what are we doing at this point? This is what you have to say for him? My client is a homeowner. He graduated from Brown College. I'm looking around like seeing if he about to run out of a tunnel at a football game. I don't know what's going on. He's the owner of Steel Toe Media Inc.
Which isn't true.
It doesn't even matter. Don't bring that up. That's what's causing all the problems. I would shut my fucking face about that. Like, that's what's caused all these issues. He's never had a felony. Now, what's interesting about that is he's had numerous misdemeanor charges for harassing women, and now he's in trouble in front of the court for not obeying court orders during a case about harassing women where he violated it by continuing to harass said woman. But he doesn't have any felonies, you guys. He said these words, which is fucking insane. I have advised Aaron throughout this case not to discuss the case or mention the defendant, and it's clear that he understands that. Again, this is after the prosecutor just said all this stuff about how flagrant he's been in disregarding court orders. I've advised Aaron on multiple occasions not to talk about this case or the defendant, and it's clear that he understands that. Now, either Todd Peterson, like you said, is fucking retarded, or this is a flat rate lawyer that has his head in the sand and doesn't give a fuck about Aaron and isn't paying attention. Aaron's lying to him and says, I never talk about it. I never talk about her.
Yeah.
And he believes him.
And so I think it's a bit of both, and I'll get into why when you're done laying it out, because I have some thoughts that are really on how he acted in the courtroom, and they're really big clues as to what's going on kind of behind the scenes.
Even if you had this whole speech prepared, after the prosecutor lays all that out, wouldn't you call an audible and not say that?
Well, you just say
he doesn't understand it.
The
prosecutor just told you he doesn't understand it, and he's not taking it seriously, and he keeps crossing lines countless amounts of times, numerous violations.
He didn't once say my client didn't do it. Like, that's insane. My client did not violate the release conditions. These allegations are incorrect and out of context.
You know, in the chamber, they went over all the list of vilations, and
I
she
do
just
know
said,
that.
"I don't need to watch all this."
I do know that.
So holy shit. At that point, that's all he had to say. My client owns a home. He graduated from Brown College, 2-year degree. He has no felonies, and he's the owner of Steel Toe Inc.
Oh, and he has 3 kids.
He's been advised not to talk about it, and he clearly understands that. That's
it.
The defense rests. The judge then said the first words out of her mouth, and actually the first words out of her mouth before this whole thing started, was another lengthy spiel about we better not record. So we got warned 2 times, both by the officer in the court and by the judge. Aaron is really concerned about people recording this case. The first words out of the judge's mouth, Mr. Imholte, I am not amused. She accused him of continuously harassing the victim and said, I have seen the several violations about this. I've given you a no contact order, and I can't even read my own fucking handwriting.
She went over the order again, and she said, you are not to have any contact, direct or indirect. You're not to mention directly or indirectly on, and then she listed off a bunch of stuff: social media, any broadcast, any production.
Anything you can think of that she could see that you talk about her.
Don't.
Privately, publicly, if she could see it, you better not do it.
Yeah.
Todd Peterson, one other thing he asked for is instead of raising his bond, in lieu of raising his bond, could we come up with some sort of cash settlement? Is there honor? Here's my license with 100 tucked under. Is there anything we can do here? What she did was say, yeah, the cash is the same amount of bond would cost. Yeah, he can give the court, he can just turn over $5,000 to the court, or he can go get a bond for $5,000.
Might have saved himself $500.
Maybe,
because 10% bond fee.
Okay.
Yeah, so he probably saved himself $500. Good job.
She basically then said, Mr. Peterson, would you like to go ahead with sentencing today? This plea deal is done. This plea deal is fucked. This woman was about to send this man to jail. If that lawyer was so stupid that he had answered the question, let's go ahead and just do sentencing today, Aaron was going to jail. I have a feeling she's not going to accept any plea that does not have jail time in it.
And you know who else has that feeling? Todd Peterson.
Yes. I have a feeling a lot of the people involved in the case know that. I can't say that I know that. I have a feeling this judge is not going to accept any plea that doesn't include jail time. Just call it a hunch back. Aaron was then rescheduled for another hearing, for a sentencing hearing on October 2nd at 11 a.m. because Scott Peterson demands a transcript of the plea hearing. Why would Scott want a transcript of that plea hearing?
So this is the big...
This plea's going to be dead in the water. This plea's not going to matter. Why does he need that transcript of a plea hearing?
So his exact words were, we want to pull a transcript of the plea hearing to consider our options. So you only have really 2 options once you've entered a plea agreement for guilt, and that is to proceed with the plea agreement or you withdraw the plea agreement.
Right.
And that's the only 2 options you have as a defendant.
But why would he be so interested in what was said at the plea hearing?
This is the key. The plea agreement itself cannot be used as evidence of someone's guilt.
So he was going to plead guilty,
right?
And
he did.
This.
He did plead guilty,
but if this plea agreement is withdrawn, they cannot use him pleading guilty for that plea agreement.
Right? They can't say you pled guilty with this thing and you withdrew the plea agreement, so you're guilty. They can't do that. But everything you say about the plea agreement in court and out of court is admissible.
So if he were to go on his show after he signed this plea agreement and admit that he did do it say that he did it to be malicious, say that he did it to bully Kayla, say that all these things, which he did several times.
His exact words
as late
were
as last week. Now he has so again, before the plea agreement, he never said I did it. He never said I did it. The minute he signed that plea agreement and thought he was safe and thought this was all done, he couldn't stop saying how he did it. He was ashamed of it. He's sorry he did it, but he was malicious. He was bullying a woman, and all that can now be entered into evidence. And should they need to come up with a new plea agreement now, the prosecution may not even be interested. The felony may be back on the table because now he's admitted it, and the component that made it a felony versus the misdemeanor was the intention. And now that he has publicly stated my intention was to bully and harass her, the plea deal might be off the table. They might go back now for the felony.
So there's one more thing. The plea deal itself can't be used. You just talked about out of court statements. But in Minnesota, to enter a plea of guilty, you have to stand before the court and on the record, under oath, provide a factual basis for every element of the crime. You have to give the court enough information for it to determine that you're guilty. You can't take a guilty plea and say you're not guilty. Like, I'm just taking the guilty plea because it's a better deal. If you do that and the court finds out, they will withdraw your guilty plea and they'll say, no, you're going to trial. We, as the court, cannot convict a not guilty person. So if you believe you're not guilty, we can't do it. So you have to lay a factual basis. So at Aaron's plea agreement, he had to say, I sent this picture. I knew that she did not, that she had an expectation of privacy in this picture and that she did not consent to it being sent. He has to go through and lay that out, like what was going on in his head. All those statements are now admissible should the plea be withdrawn. And that's huge because these are statements made under oath. He can't say I was fucking around with my audience. I was just being a braggart or a blowhard. These are made in court. So he's either commit perjury or they're true. So now they can just go and say, you said this at this hearing, didn't you, in front of a jury? And they'll all hear him say, yes, I sent the picture. No, she didn't know about it. No, she didn't consent to it. Like he'll have those statements are all in, and there's no way to go, oh, these are hearsay or anything else.
You couldn't have taken the fifth on that?
No, you cannot. Well, the way he could have, there are two types of pleas. There's an Outford plea and a Norgard plea. And I kind of trolled him on Twitter a little bit about this because he said Todd Peterson was the best person ever. I was just thinking for the civil suit, but an Outford plea says, I don't admit to these facts, but I admit that the state will probably win. And that is a plea that the judge can allow, but you have to ask to use it. And a Norgard plea is similar. It's, I don't remember these facts or something, impedes my ability to know about them, but I admit that the state has an appropriate case against me. Either of those pleas you want to take in a case like this, if you can, because they say, look, I don't believe that I did this. Like, I don't believe you can prove that I had the intent, but the state might win in front of a jury, so I'm taking the plea deal. And if he had done that, there wouldn't be a record of him saying, I did all this stuff. So good lawyering, Todd Peterson, not doing those things.
Two people, just some fun facts. 2 people in the courtroom had to be asked to remove their hats. That's insane. One of those people was a great guy, a fan named Brandon, who bought everybody lunch, who came to our pre-show lunch. So thank you for that. But he did wear a hat in the courtroom. I thought that was funny that 2 people had to be removed hats. And I just have another note here that says slumped, and it's underlined. When Aaron was sitting at the defense table, I don't know what you call it, when he was in the middle of the hearing, he is 6'2", 6'3", something like that. And Todd Peterson is much shorter. When they walked up to sit down, I saw that. Aaron was fully slumped down in that chair. I mean, low. So much so that I took note of it and wrote it down. His spirit got broken today. He told his audience how hard it was to go to jail, that this was all done, that these violations were horseshit, and all they handled today were the violations. The sentencing will be, again, on October 2nd at 11 a.m. I may have to come back for that. Moody is talking about possibly coming from New Zealand for that, which is insane. All right, we have a lot of super chats and super tips to get to. We'll try to take your questions on this stuff. Needless to say, as soon as it was over, I rushed down to get my camera and stuff because I didn't have the right frame of mind. I should have gone around to the side of the building. The jail is right next door to the building, and I literally could have got them walking Aaron over to the jail. That's what I should have done. It was still raining, unfortunately, as well. Like, it just rained and rained and rained.
Scared of water. Very embarrassing.
Very scared of water. But that's when the people who stuck around in the courtroom were like, oh, no, Aaron is in custody. Aaron is in jail.
Yeah, so most people got up right as you guys. I'm looking around and everybody is run, like you guys wanted to run to your phones,
bolting,
right? And not
Kayla, to report it. I wasn't going to report. I just didn't want to miss
the picture.
He was going to be coming out. Yeah.
So Kayla and we were like the last people out of the courtroom because we didn't have any hustle to do. We were going to talk to the victim advocate and stuff, and the prosecutor. Like they actually walked us out of the building, which was really nice. But so we hung behind, and I watched Todd Peterson walk out the front doors and Aaron go at the bailiff out the back. But we knew he was being arrested. It was
you and Kayla walked out. I got your attention. I was sitting in Juju's SUV, parked right next to Aaron's.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys got in the car and you told us some stuff that I can't repeat because it's private. But so I have a little more insight on some stuff that happened. But then we decided to go to Stoney's, and you guys got in my car to take you over to your car. Again, it's just raining, and I was like, I got to run back into the courtroom. I got to run back into the courthouse to take a piss. So I go back in the courthouse. Go through security again, go right around the corner to the bathrooms. Todd Peterson is sitting there frantically reading through documents. He didn't even see, like, he definitely knows I was the number one guy. Like, again, I was talking to him and he didn't even look up. Like, he was buried and stuff. So Aaron had already been taken. But
yeah, they split up from inside the courtroom. It was refreshing to see.
So you got to see him. Did he get handcuffed, or how does it work?
No, I mean the bailiff had his arm. They didn't. I don't think they cuffed him in the courtroom there, but they likely would have. Sometimes, if you're nice and cooperative, they won't cuff you. Right. And but they likely would have cuffed him right as he got out of the courtroom.
Well, his hands are registered legal weapons. They're just suspended right now. All right, Mike Dick says, you're doing the Lord's work. Thanks for taking one for the team. We'll have my eyes glued. I guess I came in earlier. Seize the day. Nick, stay the regardless how tough.
You mean stay the course, probably.
1 Kings 2:3. Oh, he's giving you a Bible verse.
Is everything in Minnesota as depressing as Patrick's background?
Yes. I didn't even want to tell you about Stoney's. Wait for this fucking report.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Melton rules.
Melton rules.
Melton rules.
Melton, what was it again?
Melton rules.
I did get a call from Kevin Brennan at 4 p.m., of course, trying to get me on his show, I assume. And I just declined it.
I've never heard of that guy until this past year of nonsense. And I still don't get why anybody cares about him at all. Every time I watch his show, he's just whiny and boring.
Dr. Sarah says, all the best, Nick, to you and yours, and looking forward to more court streams. But for all of humanity, nail that notch dick amoeba to the wall. It's got a notch now?
I don't know.
Buzzard Bob, Mr. Melton, I wish I was that microphone. You got him. I wish I was this microphone too. It's a hog. Bubble Popper 24. Great work, Patrick. Started with you during your 7-part toe series, and now we are here. Amazing. So how based was his lawyer? Sup, Nick?
Yo.
Dude, this guy is so based. Not as based as me. I'm a homeowner, but
Aaron doesn't.
Todd sucks. This guy sucks.
That letter, Aaron should be suing Todd for that letter. Like, that letter admitted to the violations and then said the victim should just not watch. Like, it's insane.
The saddest thing, and I asked Kayla if I could give this line because you did share her victim impact statement with me. There is a mic drop line in that victim impact statement. And basically, there's part of the whole thing that she's basically roasting Todd Peterson. Like, not only is Aaron a piece of shit who doesn't give a fuck about the victim in this case, Todd Peterson is retarded and doesn't give a fuck about this, but just roasting him. And there's a line in there regarding that letter where he said maybe she should just stop watching. And there's a line in that letter, and it says, why should I have to close my eyes because your client can't close his mouth? And I was like, fuck. Like, that's like, fuck. That letter's so good. It did not get read in court today. Aaron's speech, as he calls it, that he worked so hard on, did not get read in court today. And if I know Aaron, I think he won't let that speech go to waste. He will hold that for a goal. He cannot let that go. And if you're a fan of his or you want to troll him, see how much, or I'm sure if you hit the goal, I'll read my speech letter. Aaron's already out of jail, by the way. He was there for an hour or two. And by the time we were kicked out of Stoney's, spoiler alert, he was already out of jail. Diane says, Nick looking handsome as fuck.
Hey, what's up? Thanks.
It's pretty nice. Frank Niebla sitting in $100. This is amazing. I fucking love you, Melton. You're the king of whatever this is. And Nick, you're a goddamn pimp. They all hate you because they ain't you. Thanks for the entertainment, gentlemen. You guys never miss. Thank you. Thank Nick for bringing mics and mic stands to make the quality of this program better.
Aaron said he was driving on Twitter after you said he was in jail. Is Daddy Pigsaw going to have to kidnap you for lying? Oink, oink.
No, like I said, he was only in there for a couple hours. He's out of jail now.
Yeah, there was. We weren't sure how fast he would be able to post bond and how long the Stearns County Sheriff would allow him to post bond before they just said wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, because after a certain point in time, I guess they don't accept bonds, and he might possibly have to spend the night. He didn't have time to escape to the lake this time.
I just want to go on record and say I brought 2 mic stands.
Wow. Chip Galloway, $3. When will the new mugshot blanket be available? Yes, we're going to have to update the Aaron Imholte arrest merch with his new mugshot. If you haven't seen it, you're really, really missing.
Is it the one, like, is he in a red t-shirt? Like what?
Orange or red, yeah.
Man, did they put him in jail clothes?
That's what I was thinking.
Like
but somebody said that the jail here, it's a V-neck, or I don't know, somebody had experience. That's the only thing I could think of. I saw a black dress shirt,
undershirt, or something.
He had an undershirt on, but it was a wife beater, sleeveless type because I could see it through the shirt and suit, which is fucking crazy, dog.
It doesn't make sense.
How thin is this suit?
Well, the threads
and it was tight. Also, again, I'm only behind him. That suit was tight.
Wait, so there's a
around the upper, like around the chest.
There's a chat coming up that one of the member chats, I believe, and I saw it scroll by, but they said that they believe that that's the suit that he married April in, and so it was an intentional dig.
The maroon suit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's another violation.
He would have been down how many pounds back then? Like,
who knows? Only Scott.
He's just
Did you
right
get
around
consent to share those notes? Gino, my love, pass me my butt plug.
Did we get consent to share those notes?
That's
what she wanted to know.
Shut up, you dumb bitch!
Sorry, what were you saying there? Do you remember what you were saying? Or?
No, it doesn't matter.
Gary Biscayne, who I think is Gino Bisconte. What did I miss? I was beaten it to yet again 2 pictures of Nick's whore wife that have never been seen.
You know what's funny is that you keep masturbating to my wife instead of yours. That's pretty embarrassing. I mean, I get it.
Jesus Christ. You guys settle this at home. This is a family-friendly show. The thing from New Jersey, Todd Blewett, the case would have been dismissed. I don't know. I mean, again, Aaron's just like shown that he cannot just shut the fuck up. Like, that's just a fact. Tim422, out fucking standing show, lock him up. They did. Again. They did. Coach Ubiquity, Scott Peterson only specializes in maritime law. Oh, boy. He makes custom boat anchors. It's rough.
Your Honor, my client didn't send a text message. He actually sailed a boat with a photo on it to Gino Bisconti.
Boy, when it rains, it pours. But I will say the experience was clinical, especially the strip search.
Spread those cheeks, Aaron.
Anyone want to see my whore wife's butthole? $5 a pop, so it's not revenge porn.
Why the fuck did your whore wife bring up Kayla's name on my show? You and that bitch talked all this shit and fucked me. You literally bent me over and stuck your brachiole in my asshole.
Bing, bing, bing. Bong, bong, bong.
The thing is, he's got to be very careful now of guests, of guest hosts.
Oh, you know what's funny?
Callers.
I only know one of the violations, but I know one very specifically.
Okay.
It was the one where Aaron invited Gino Bisconti and Keanu to answer questions while hosting his show that he wasn't allowed to say. And then Keanu, the dumb pile of matchsticks that she is, went on her show and confirmed not only that Aaron said that, but in private asked them specifically to answer as many of those questions as they can. Good job, you dumb fucking retards.
Jesus Christ.
That's a specific one of the violations. You got your boy in jail.
Yeah, and the judge was clear again. She laid these out like to a kindergartner. She said, any show you have control over, you are responsible for. The mentions. An indirect mention. He can't say, I can't talk about that person. That's an indirect mention. He cannot say that. And I imagine any show you have control over means, I would assume to a certain degree, his appearances on other shows as well as allowing guests and callers to call into his show and mention any kind of thing about Kayla.
So
playing videos, he's going to have to be really careful with. People are going to be trying to get him on this now, just like they did with the picture of Kayla down in the thumbnail. That whatever that compilation was, where her head was on somebody,
right?
You know, like he's got to watch that stuff.
So when she said the control over, that's referring to he has control over what his employees that he hired, that he openly stated he's paying to fill in for him. Those are the shows he has control over. She mentioned any show you appear on as a separate thing. So if he goes on MLC, and I'm guessing the MLC clip was probably on there as well, where the judge is not expecting him to sit, like to run away to the bathroom or whatever, but he should have immediately left the stream.
I think he did that one time when Kayla was on his show too, when she was, when Kiki was on his show too, and she started talking about Kayla, and he got up and like left for a second.
Yeah,
he does it all in humor, you know?
Right? But you can't do that. Like, you're under a restraining order. You don't have full free speech anymore. You gave up part of that.
Gino trashes the victim on the abuser's show, then writes character witness statements for the abusers. Kiki's nudes are all over the internet.
You notice, Aaron had tons of letters, right? But only one ever got filed. So Gino's letter,
Where were the
Keanu's
tons
letter.
of letters? Again, the father didn't write a letter. Slam Piece didn't write a letter.
I'm wondering about that one.
I wonder about Johnny. Honestly, that's the number one to me. Again, I think that would carry a lot of weight if you were just looking for support. Diablo Sandwich, Mr. Imholte, I'm not amused. Well, she definitely watched his show. They were back there for a while. I imagine the prosecutor probably showed her a few of the most egregious things and then said, and we have all these other ones too, if you want. And she was like, I get it.
So I
and
haven't.
Mr. Peterson was like, he does own a home and a Tahoe. Would you? I have a video of my client changing a tire. Would you like anyone?
And he has his lug nut lock.
Fuck.
Super chats, Rumble rants, Venmo, PayPal, Kiki Bucks, Honey Buns, Ramen, 60 minutes of iPad time. NJC
Secure.
Gino, you literally ended my life. My 3 children will no longer see me. I mean, they don't see me now, but still, they won't see me. You fucked me, Gino.
You're a nickel. You're a nickel.
Oh, great. I can't believe this. I thought you were my friend. Oh, and Melton, thanks for posting my bong. I really appreciate this. Counselor, how much time am I looking at? Also, was it worth it? $2 a day took my wife and now my life. Was it worth it, counselor?
Do you think he had to put his bail bond on a credit card?
I would think that's the only way he got it done that fast.
I don't picture this guy with a stockpile of cash, especially after a vacation.
Well, he said he put his original bail and or his lawyer, one of those two. He mentioned specifically. Well, you put it on the credit card. I think it was his lawyer. It was like $7,000.
I don't. $8,000.
$8,000.
Yeah, 8. He
Guys, don't hire a flat rate criminal lawyer and expect them to be up on all. Like if you're someone like Aaron, who hundreds of reports are going to come in, and he knows hundreds of reports are going to come in, don't hire a flat rate lawyer. They don't have the time. Their job is to get you pled out and get you out of the fucking system as fast as possible. They want to take home $8,000 that they work less time for. They don't want to write a bunch of motions and deal with a bunch of violations.
Odin Allfather, Nick, none of this would have happened if you stayed in Houston, or maybe worse. Glad to see you doing better, though.
Thanks, brother.
Did you live in Houston?
I was born in Houston.
Oh, okay. Can't tell from your hat. I can tell Patrick is in Minnesota because everything is beige. Jesus Christ. John Mack, 86. Nick, Kevin Brennan is light years more entertaining than you. We'll hang up and listen.
Sounds good.
Kevin Brennan's never heard of Nick either.
I hope not. Like, I don't know why he would.
Revenge of the Sis told you he'd end up in cuffs. Oh, ye of little faith, Mersh.
What's up, Mersh?
Yeah, but this was only like, basically, are the violations done? That's handled now? There's no more to be.
They didn't calendar another hearing.
They upped his bond or
Yep.
a punitive cash fee, and then
gave him 3 months to try and not fuck up.
more than 3, 4 to 5.
October
somewhere in
2nd. So we've got it's
July,
about to be
August,
July.
September. Okay, yeah, 3 months and some change, and then all the conditions are still in place. And she again reiterated them to him like he was a child.
Yep. She said they were abundantly. I think she said they were like abundantly clear, and there was no ambiguity to any of them. She was so pissed. It was good.
Moody says, shout out to Leo, the paralegal, for pretty much nailing everything in his video. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that. But I posted it on Twitter if people want to check it out. He basically said Steel Toe has no fucking idea what he's talking about, or he's lying with what was to be expected today. He thought that this would be nothing. And this was such a something that he ended up in jail again. And the sentencing they didn't even get to. No, they're giving me a bundle deal. They're putting it all together.
And again, it's really important to note that his lawyer is saying in court, we want this extra time because we want to pull the transcript and see what our options are. So the release condition violations.
How much did we fuck ourselves?
Release condition violations are done. That, like you said, that plea deal is on the chopping block. That's very clear from Todd Peterson's posture here. Because there's no he's saying we will pull the plea deal, or he's worried that the judge will pull the plea deal, or both. And they want to read that transcript and see how fucked Aaron is.
Caesar Day, is this the turn I hear so much about? Chad next? I don't know. Chad seems to be smart enough not to keep committing crimes, or at least not getting caught for them. The ghost of Mr. P. Pat, next time the white buffalo will rep you. I didn't have representation. I don't know. By the way, Mr. P wants to talk to you about cars.
Okay.
And then he keeps sending me pictures of his car. Like I give a fuck.
Why didn't you just send
He's
them to
like,
me?
tell Nick I want to talk about its car.
Just email me, brother.
Yeah, why don't you guys scissor and leave me out of it? Fucking idiots. JS, what do you think his spin will be? Yeah, what is he? I don't know if he's doing a show live tonight. He would be on, I guess. My guess is him and SP had plans to like go celebrate tonight. So I don't know if those got called off. I assume he didn't do a show. Does anybody know if he's doing a show?
He said he's not doing a show. Like he tweeted that he's not.
Right, guys. I'm not really in a show mood.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what his spin is going to be. I'm guessing he's going to say, look, they thought there were violations. We disagreed. We didn't even really get a chance to argue them. But, all they did was they reaffirmed.
Well, the judge said, I found that you violated.
Yeah. But he's
Like-
that's not what he's going to say, though. Right? Because
That's why you got arrested.
he didn't even realize that they were on for a hearing of the violations, because Todd Peterson asked for this in his letter. He asked for it to be delayed until this time, or deferred until this date.
Right.
Which is like, they're going to already calendar it on this date anyway. You weirdo. You have a motion, or you have a hearing.
This is a prerequisite of sentencing. Like sentencing, they can't come back and do this after sentencing. That wouldn't make any sense. This is a violation of something that happened prior to sentencing in the same case.
The funny thing is, Aaron and Todd both thought that they could not extend and continue the sentencing date. And they argued that in chambers. Well, Todd did. Todd argued in chambers that they can't.
She gave
have
him
to
the
sentence
option.
him.
She said, "Do you want me to sentence him today?"
That's because in chambers, he said, you have to do the sentencing today, which is going to moot the release condition violations. And the judge and the prosecutor are like, no, we don't.
So he believes that too. He doesn't.
That's what he argued.
I gave this analogy this morning. It's like a flag being called on a football play, but a player made it to the end zone saying like, no, but I made a touchdown, so your flag is moot. And it's like, no, while you could have violated, you did violate.
Yep.
So the fact that it's over today doesn't matter. Like
so the reason that in Minnesota, most violations don't generate a new criminal charge. The court has the discretion when it's a violation of a restraining order or a domestic assault restraining order to file a contempt of court charge. But those are the two specific things. To get to a contempt of court charge in this instance, the prosecutor would have to argue that the judge's release conditions were equal enough to a restraining order to trigger the law, which they avoided by just not having to do that. But it wasn't a separate criminal charge.
they are essentially a restraining order.
They are. And I think the prosecutor would win that argument, but I haven't researched it, so I don't know for sure. That being said, this was a way to kind of get around having to figure that out. And normally they're not criminal charges. Now, if Kayla gets her own HRO, which now that he has had several release conditions violated, it would make an HRO just a foregone conclusion.
It's a court record now that he violated. The judge said it. I find that you have violated on multiple occasions.
Yep.
And so this is what I'm doing.
And he's admitted to the dissemination. So those things combined make an HRO a foregone conclusion.
Slam dunk.
It's going to just happen. So that might be filed, within the next day.
Hopefully, this picture of my Mexican rat I call a dog will persuade the judge that I'm a good guy. Another win for the toe.
He's a dog owner, Your Honor. Will someone think of Gordy?
He owns a 4-pound excuse.
Anonymous says, Melty, what's the future? Will Toe ever address this subject? Can he help himself? His ego is... he'll have to go tell us this is bullshit.
It's going to take him like a day or two, like last time. Like, after he pled, he was good for like an hour.
I mean, he was braggadocious. He went on another little tour of shows, including Kevin Brennan's.
It's insane.
Where he, again, admitted everything and admitted the motive behind it. which again could like put the felony on the table. This is not near over. Cardiff's pants bulge. Nick, Aaron obviously uses Gino, Kiki to get gossip out about your lady and April. Is there any way to get Gino jailed too? He needs a kick in the ass. I don't think so.
No, not really. And I'm not interested in doing that. Like, old age will take care of
No
Gino.
one watches those guys. Like, period.
Patrick, you made me miss this. You suck. Jihad has been called against you.
Okay.
Al-Akbar.
I made you miss this, Moody?
Inshallah, Moody.
Jesus Christ.
Nick, it's great seeing a man stand by his wife. If I were Toe, I would take a hiatus until October, because he'll continue to dig himself deeper. He won't be able to resist. Learn from Nick, Patrick.
If I weren't such a slut, cunt, whore, cum dump, asshole, twat, bitch, shemale, I would admit that Mrs. K has something I'll never have. A supporting husband who's not a loser.
There you go.
Thanks.
Amy,
What's his name?
Amy Elizabeth, if Aaron reads his statement on his show, isn't that violating the order? Yeah, I imagine he could take out any part that mentions Kayla. I was talking about this at lunch. My hunch, my instinct is that this letter, the way he talked about it, I've come to an epiphany. I can't wait to tell people what I'm going to do. You're not going to be able to believe it. This letter was all about him. Didn't show any contrition for the victim. Didn't cover any specific lessons learned by hurting this woman. It's all about Aaron. I've grown. Here's what I've done. Here's what I'm doing. So I don't think there'd be too much to edit out. But we may be wrong. Aaron could prove us all wrong by reading that letter. Get him to read that letter. Joseph Collins, I was talking and laughing with my ex-wife. I'll probably miss my other super chats. We'll be
That's a weird chat.
We'll
right
be
there.
torn up.
Oh, I see. He got out already. I was hoping to be Aaron's cellmate and let him eat my greasy pig goo. I'll have you on your knees soon enough, camel toe. Oink, oink.
Jesus Christ. Thanks, Pig Saw. Vince Griswold, drug addict. How did... That's you?
Oh, that's me. Cool.
Hey, drug addict. How did select... Oh, I shouldn't read. You don't want anything about your kids on here, right?
No, that wasn't my kids. And I know which message you're talking
How
about.
did the pill bottle end up in your pill head's wife's possession? I don't know.
It wasn't. It was in my possession. It was an antiviral pill. Like it wasn't a controlled substance or anything like that.
This is a prescription medication?
Yeah. And so it was an antiviral because I had a viral infection. And shockingly,
Herpes?
my mother had a similar viral infection. She said, "Hey, I have a med for that." And so she was like, "Try this out."
Herpes.
No.
It's herpes.
On behalf of all women, I want to say, fuck Keanu Thompson. I'm a cunt. I'm a bitch. I live with a loser. I helped cook Aaron. Of course, I'm too stupid to realize it. Fuck Keanu. Fuck Keanu.
Oh, that's it. Napoleon Solo, kind of fitting the worst client, had the worst attorney. Yes. Is she coming back?
Not yet.
She messaging you? Sees the day, says, is there a charged next poll or is this illegal? Charged next poll. I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
Bang, you died. Only someone as dumb as Aaron could talk himself into jail not once but twice. He may as well go for the hat trick. Third time's the charm, right? One more stamp on my punch card and I get a free goal.
I was baffled the entire time. Like from the moment he was arrested and then, he had his first appearance and they put the conditions on, and it was like a day that he didn't say anything. And he's like, we're just going to focus on the show. We're not going to talk about this. And then it built and built and built.
Yeah, because you think you're getting away with it. What we learned from this prosecutor is that she was receiving everything people have sent in. And I imagine this is Reddit people or people who just hate him in general. she's receiving all of it. She's watching all of it, and she's cataloging all of it. And
I might make a
said,
suggestion
just
to
countless
to
violations.
Anyone sending in an alleged violation, they are welcome. They are requested. And the preference is that they be from the original stream with a timestamp rather than a clip. That is very helpful because he puts out a lot of content, 4 to 7 hours a day. And it's hard for a prosecutor's office to go through all of that stuff. What is really easy is when there's a timestamp and then a description of exactly what it is that they're looking for. So if people are sending stuff in, that's the type of stuff that is helpful to them.
Nobody wants a Doom logo in a court.
Yeah, and if you just say like, oh, he violated in this stream, and you send him a 4-hour video, they're not watching that.
Got it. Steph Renee, every time I hear his lawyer's name, I think of the murderer who killed his wife and unborn child. Yes, Scott Peterson. Scott Peterson. $50 from James Baumert says, I'm not giving Carl any money Friday. He's not going to like that. Goes to Mr. P. Can I write somebody's letter for me here case? I gotta, you might want to go to bed. Goes to Mr. P. I don't know what you're on. Proofread your stuff before you send it in.
So what I jerked it to your stank wife. Her twat pushed out 6 Rekieta retards. That water slide is busted, bro. Look at whore Kiki's butthole. At least it's not blown out by that mother of 6, you fool.
Gino is right. My stink flower is still in bloom, motherfucker. Kayla's Venus flytrap, well, never mind you, loser. Whore. Kiki, I got nothing.
What do you have to say about that? Kayla's never pushed out.
I have 5 kids.
Kiki's never pushed out kids from her butthole. What do you have to say about that? I think people know how any of this stuff works.
I have 5 kids and I birthed them all.
Tampa Terry, are those popcorn ceilings in your room, Pat brother? Yes.
Of course.
Minnesota's finest here at the Travelodge.
It's new up here.
Mrs. Hunter Duke, this is the greatest show. Thanks, Big Sauce. No, thank Nick for being here today as well. He didn't have to take time out to do this, but he can answer stuff with more insight on the full scope of the case than I could ever bring you guys.
Nick, you don't understand. I'm going to jail to learn to be a better lover for you and your brother Butter.
Micropin.
Micropene.
I hate the word brother butter. I hate it. It's the grossest.
More from Aaron.
Rumble Fridays no longer take care of themselves. Please, no one sneak pictures or mentions of Kayla into the videos you send me. Don't do that, please.
Yeah, again, he's just got to be careful about everything now, because that's the way it works.
I would say I follow the advice. Please don't do that. Like, actually, like, please don't. Like, just let him fuck up on his own, or not. Like, preferably not. That'd be great. Like, that would be wonderful if he just not fuck up.
Challenge noted. Gary Biscayne, who I think again is Gino Bisconte. Jesus, Nick, crop out your whippet-addled palsy hand out of the picture. Oof. Okay. Jerking it to your wife's pic again. Is he really just admitting he jerks off to your wife's pics?
Yeah, over
it's
and
not
over.
even a joke.
It's weird. I mean, it's not that weird.
Why don't you go? Isn't your chick there? She can't handle you?
Call me Keanu, I guess. I'll turn you down.
Yeah, you never hear Slow Wife writing in saying, Patty won't give me his little button kickstand. A-Part, Johnny's show today, classic. I don't care about Aaron. Yeah, from what I heard, people were telling Johnny Aaron got arrested and was in jail again, and Johnny just didn't believe it. But this guy just believes anything Aaron puts in his ear, as does Cheetos at Stoney's, which is a story we have coming.
He's a thick boy.
If we ever run out of these super chats. Aquascape A to Z. How long is that dork in jail now? He's already out. He bonded out, and until the sentencing or until the next violation.
Well, so now
I imagine if he continues violating it, they will send somebody out, because it's like
right. I mean, the only reason they didn't is because they had they had a hearing set up 7 days from the time the violation was filed on the 18th. They're not going to, unless they believe that he's going to go harm someone physically, they're not going to arrest him.
But again, the note was she's aware of violations that occurred throughout. She said from September 3rd, or is that
She
what
said
was
from
the date?
prior to the setting of conditions, he was acting in this way. So she was alleging to ongoing harassment that predated the conditions.
Yeah, he's just unable to stop.
I told you so. I told you so. Today was no big deal. It went just like I thought. Todd is the best.
You idiot!
I too am an idiot.
Yeah, Scott's not going to be happy about this. We were just talking yesterday to Scott, and he was saying like he'd be willing to give Aaron another chance. He said it may not be up to him. Apparently, like the way the gym is structured, the membership kind of has control, and they would have to vote. It's not just like the owners of the gym or the.
It's set up as a public nonprofit, which is, I mean, for me, I don't get it.
Whatever,
but I don't care.
But he's like basically every member of the gym has to vote whether or not Aaron could ever coach there again, regardless of whether his Safe Sport and USA Boxing clearances come back.
Yeah, it's like a public corporation. So there's employees, but then there's a board that is elected by the members, and so if that board has to vote on any sort of activity.
And they might just be like, fuck it, it's not worth the hassle.
All you guys do is take my ideas. I'm tired of it, dog. I was going to Minnesota in September. I called Coach up and let him know you were a scam artist. Not good.
Not good.
Not good.
Juju G, who's the car we were all sitting in earlier. See you in October, Melton. Let's get kicked out of pasta buckets next time. No spoilers. Ricky Bev, does Todd know the law, or did Aaron not hear or process what he is saying? This is so far from what Aaron said. From what you said, I didn't know this, that in chambers, Todd was like, you can't get him on condition violations. Conditions are up today. It's like, that blows my, it shows like a fundamental lack of understanding of time, not just the law.
Right.
Like, it'd be like if you got arrested for having weed, but they were changing the law in your state to make weed legal. It's like you still got arrested when it was illegal. That's still a crime.
There's that, and the Minnesota Rules of Criminal Procedure very explicitly say that a sentencing hearing can be continued on the court's discretion for good cause. And if the good cause is this motherfucker keeps violating release conditions and we want to make sure he understands that he shouldn't do that, then the court has full ability to do that. Plus, he went out into the court and then argued later, of course, that we want this extension so we can pull the transcript. So in essence, there's no argument about it. There's no whatever. They asked for this at the end of the day, even though at the beginning of the day, they were trying to say, oh, you can't do this.
Monkeypox, how many Confederate flags were at Stoney's? I don't know if I saw one, but
there was at least one in the picture.
Okay, I filmed a lot, just swooping around the room, so we'll have to check the tape. But Nick says one.
Yep. I wore the suit I married April into court to show you all. Baller moved to show up to my sentencing for revenge, PRN. In front of the couple who took April in when she left me for abusing her, which is the reason I wanted vengeance upon them.
That's pretty much a summary. Monkeypox, did you get kicked out for wearing sleeves? Yeah, we got to get to that story if we ever get through these. They keep coming in. Seize a day. Revenge porn, no remorse. Darvo, good eye judged. Hashtag me too. Revenge porn, no remorse. Darvo, good eye.
Hackmania, Minnesota, October 2nd, be there.
God bless us, everyone.
Hackmania, Minnesota. There are some people here from out of state. This guy Sean, who was at Hackmania, came out here.
That pissed off Cheetos.
Yes. Yeah, we got to get to this story before you go. Jordan Bates, these two, Aaron sees the robot from Power Rangers come together. Wish I knew the villain name. Aaron sees the robot from Power Rangers come together. Oh, that's us? Joseph Collins, Aaron thinks he's Rocky. In reality, he's Glass Joe. That's pretty much the summation of it. $100 from Panhandler. Any chance Aaron knew this was going down, hence the BS epiphany nonsense? Fantastic job, boys. Oh, and Patrick, you can keep $10 of this. I'll reach out to Moody to get 90% back.
So Aaron's epiphany came out on the exact same day that his pre-sentence investigation report was filed with the court. So Aaron and his lawyer would have been served on 6/23, the pre-sentencing investigation report, which shows what the sentencing recommendation is. Now that's not
the
public.
epiphany came out on Sunday, though. He said he had an epiphany camping on Sunday.
Okay, so that was Sunday. They may have been emailed it earlier.
Or his family sat him down.
I wonder. Okay, so the roster of this vacation, this cabin trip, is Ashley, the kids,
the grandparents on both sides,
Ashley's parents, and Aaron's parents. That sounds like a potential intervention.
That's what I'm saying.
As P didn't go, I don't know if
Would you
Balin
bring
went.
children to that?
I wouldn't, but who's gonna watch him?
Balin.
Unless he went, and I don't know if he went or not. They didn't say. I didn't see anybody say if Balin went.
It's just a weekend for the exes, getting away together with the kids.
When I was like, "Wait, you're going on a vacation with Ashley?" That's fucking
Unless
weird.
his kids wrote another letter, Daddy, don't internet. We don't like when the internet, man.
And I know there are rumors about he and SP breaking up. I haven't seen anything to actually support the rumor. However, I have to imagine that at some point she's like, you need to let this stuff fucking go or else you're going to jail. Like, what am I going to do with you then?
Especially because
how can I
much
peg you
of this
while you're behind bars?
Bitterness and anger comes from the fact, again, the same as your bitterness and anger. You both just hung up on this April chick. But like, he's in a relationship where like, you're supposed to be letting this go, and like you can't move forward in your current relationship unless you can let go of that stuff. I told you, like it's just like you can't, as Moody says, you can't have a backup wife. So like it's like, yeah, if you're dating Aaron, how are you not looking at this going like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, even from just the practical perspective of if she's going to count on him to be a partner and he keeps doing things that will put him in jail. Like they will do that. He's not a useful partner.
Right. Truth Seeker knows. Shout out to based attorneys who get their basic bitch client behind bars. He's based, guys. People are saying this morning. Whoever taught Aaron all this zillennial language where things are cooked and he's always saying crashed out. And it's so just like, oh, you got to stop. You got to stop. Anonymous, did y'all notice how pasty he looked while saying he was excited to read his soliloquy? God, we got to hear that. You got to get him to read that on his show. Coach Ubiquity, not nice, non-smart thermostat. Jeez, what a shithole. It's probably tied into something corporate. It's a great band. Diane, even Nick's fingers are sexy. My imagination runs wild. Oh, no. Gino's glass jaw, super helpful for Gary Biscayne to advertise the channel he is using to avoid his YouTube ban. He learned nothing from Pat's punch or his banning. Well, Pat Dixon's back on YouTube and Cardiff Electric are back on YouTube after their bans, and their intention is to never get monetized, and they just use super tips because they don't need monetization to use another system to raise money. So benefit there. They could just keep spinning up new channels as much as they want. Diablo Sandwich, you fruits look like the number 10. Get to Stoney's. You fruits look like, oh yeah, because you're skinny and I'm round.
That's good.
We look like the number 10. My whole panel just refreshed. What did I do?
Everything wrong?
Holy shit.
Did you just lose them?
No.
Okay.
Jay Uhl, Nick, why is Meme Copium so butthurt from you? Fuck Keanu Thompson.
I don't know. Like Meme Copium, I think he used to do a show with Divinity. Like these people are all people I don't know
any of these people.
I don't either. Like I knew of some of them. I think Divinity was on my show once. I don't know if Meme Copium ever was because I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, I don't know why I would talk to these people at all. But I think it's because I said he was as ugly as Legal Mindset.
Got it.
No, I said that's what I said. I said if you bifurcated Legal Mindset and took the retarded half and then folded it over, that would be Meme Copium. That's what I said.
I don't even know Legal Mindset. I'm just into Kurt's cooking videos.
They're so good.
On civil law.
They're so good.
Painkiller. I think it's magical that Aaron is forced to shut up and Nick can say whatever he wants. Funny how that happens. Yeah, it's a trade-off though. There's things they both can't do.
Gino Bisconte or Gary Bisconte. Shut the fuck up. You are not helping me. Stop saying you jerked off to the picture I sent you. You are affirming I committed a crime and cause I associate with you, it affirms I have no remorse. I am so fucked. Dumbasses don't know the difference between criminal and civil suits. Shit. Maybe I'll just flee the country. I didn't have to give them my passport.
I didn't even think about that. Is he bragging that he's jerking off that he still has the nude?
He says that. I don't believe him. I think he's just trying to get under my skin, but it's like, don't share it.
Jordan Bates, Power Rangers, assemble now. Nerd. Joseph Collins, hey Nick, first saw you during the Rutkowski case.
I think they mean Rittenhouse.
Okay. Good stuff, great stuff, very informative.
Thank you.
Droopy Drawers, you deserve so much more, but thank you, Big Sauce. No, thank you for the $20. We appreciate that. We're almost through these now. Finally.
Glad to see my friends in court today. So, Kahuna, Melton, Nick, so glad this is over.
Yes, it's over now.
Todd came out of the judge's chamber and was like, yo, full stop. That thought is crashing out in there. We're down bad, bro. He started showing me Peppy memes. No cap based, bro.
Skibbity toilets.
I can't believe that, like, the delusional aspect of him saying, look, on Wednesday it's over. Like, you know, you're getting a year to 2 years of probation. Like, you know that. And he assumes the max. So he assumes 2 years of probation for the gross misdemeanor. Why on earth would you say this is over on Wednesday? Like, trust me, it ain't over when you're on probation.
This is nothing. It's all bullshit. They just have to do this because yada, yada, yada. Miss New York, Nick, you were so nice and professional at Hackamania. Thanks, Patrick, for everything. No, thank you, Miss New York, for coming to both Hackamanias. We hope to see you next year. $100 from Spectre and S5RD. Patrick, honestly, this is the greatest show. The links you'll go to for quality content. Chef's kiss. Yes, I have an early morning flight. I probably will not sleep tonight either, but what a whirlwind 48 hours here in rural Minnesota. I was driving, spoiler alert, Nick's gotta go get the door, but spoiler alert, I was driving out to Wapakata Golf Club today, and boy do I have another doozy for you. Wait till I get home. And even on the way out to Stoney's, we're just in the sticks. We're just in the fucking sticks out here.
I'm going to coin it. Let's see Aaron on this. Another skin of the toe.
Let's see Aaron on this. Butterwife, was anyone there to support Aaron? Mom, Dad, Johnny? Nobody. The entire gallery was full of either NLO fans. There might have been a couple Kiwi Farm people there. I'm not even sure. Nobody was there for any other case. Nobody was there for Aaron. 100%. Nobody was there for Aaron. Even if there were people like from Kiwi Farms and stuff, they were like anti-Nick people. And it might have been two. I'm not even sure. They might have just been shy people or independently interested parties.
I'm surprised it was that low. Like, my box office is fading, I guess.
Somebody was sending me reports that Kiwi farmers were talking about stealing my camera outside the courthouse. It's like, cool, I guess. I
Remember that at my first hearing that people could attend, they had a separate thread to teach these autisms how to just show up at a courthouse and look presentable. It's like, just wear a polo shirt and khaki pants. And
dude, there were people in like dirty Carhartt shirts. There were people in T-shirts. Maybe people came from work. I don't even know. But yeah, I mean, I just, at a minimum, I was like, I'm going to wear nice jeans and a button-up shirt. Like, I'm not going to disrespect the court. I'm not going to wear a hat. 2 people had to be told to take hats off, which was insane. Coach Plack, is Aaron still under the same release conditions? Yes, but more sternly put to him. The one pun, Aaron boxing coach got what's left to take. Monkeypox, nothing but rocks and cows and crime in St. Cloud. Is that true?
Sorry.
Hold on, these are not playing anymore?
I'm communicating non-verbally.
How dare you? Hold on, why are they not playing anymore?
To think, if Maddox had never flunked out of his math degree, I would have never ate Nick's cum and be sitting in jail.
Jesus Christ. It's funny how things happen. Chad Picus, where are friends and family or SP? Was there friends and family or SP at the hearing today? Nobody was there for Aaron. Not even his parents, which is nuts. Pulitzer Prize coming your way, Melty. I doubt that highly. Is there any evidence with Steel Toe with this SP girl, like recent multiple pics of her or vids? Can't believe you're missing the chili cook-off tomorrow. No, I mean, she's a private person. You should leave her alone. She clearly doesn't want to be a part of Aaron's criminal life or his show life, other than giving him notes. And I think that's the takeaway from this. Both April, Kayla, and SP, even, like, they don't want to be hounded by you fucking savages. Like, I wonder why. I get called a pedo everywhere I go. Nick keeps getting called a drug addict. And that part's true. But
so the funny part is,
hold on.
Nicky Rackets, you better get your rear in gear and get back to streaming that show you do on the internet. Let me bully you with money and bad jokes.
Bully away. I go back to streaming tomorrow. I have Aiden Kearney, Turtle Boy, on to talk about the Karen Reed case. Aiden Kearney came on my show, I think, first, prior to the entire thing blowing up 3 years ago, along with Lauren De Laguna. I believe Lauren will come in at the end of the show with Aiden, overlap for just a little bit, and then I'll talk to Lauren for a little while because he has like 90 minutes. So I'll be back to streaming starting tomorrow. Thanks. Come bully me with all the money you got.
Eric Stone, why wouldn't Aaron just pay the higher bond amount so he can do whatever? Would he be able to talk about Kayla then, or would he not be able because it's a harassment case? That's a good question.
It's $100,000. And I don't think
it's only $5,000 more for a bond.
I don't think he's allowed to bond out the unconditional, which is weird. Like, because otherwise I can't figure out why he didn't do that.
Maybe certain conditions might still be in place though, or that's where you would have to get a restraining order possibly.
Yeah, and he doesn't want that to happen because those are all criminal. Violations of a restraining order are criminal.
Amy Elizabeth, will either of you pursue civil lawsuits? No comment from me.
Civil lawsuit, we'll see.
Anything can happen.
He said some very funny things, a whole lot about me feeding my daughter cocaine. Then he happened to say the other day that he didn't actually believe what he was saying. That was dumb.
Coach Ubiquity also meet up for October sentencing, possibly. I might come back.
I wish I could tell you that Aaron fought the good fight and the sisters let him be. I wish I could tell you that, but prison is no fairy tale world.
Will you offer Aaron an updated Aaron mugshot blanket? 100%. God. That's a public photo. I can use it. All right, I think we're done with them. I think we got through them. I know there's some. Do you have to go?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my God. You're never.
Yeah,
leaving.
eventually we have to go. So let's just keep going.
All right. I like your attitude, Rekieta. Hold on. No, this is frozen.
Can you turn off my camera for just a second?
Yeah, hold on. You gonna give smoke signals?
Yes.
Yes, you're off.
Okay. Get out of here.
Oh, she's crossing over.
Yeah.
You don't want her breaking.
She's maintained a good habit of staying off the internet. No need to break it now.
I get it. Hold on. Why are these not loading? I'm going to have to do them over here. Fucking iPad. This thing fucking sucks. Thank you for being a new member, Swim. James Gartner, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. James Gartner, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. The last of the morons. Aaron's getting all of the cum he can get in jail.
Oh, God.
It's like pasta buckets, but it's pasta buckets. Raising Minnesota gifting 5 memberships. Thank you guys very much. Coach Rocky Wig Snatch is a new member. Village Idiot, will you try to watch his sentencing hearing on October 2nd? That depends on you donators. You fine people. If you thought I did a good job this time, I'll come back. Genta says, damn. Riles gifting 5 memberships. Joseph Collins, a year of Melton and the Onions is a great year. 12 months. Thank you very much. What is it? M Wheels 1304 is a new member. Aaron's maroon tux, which was his wedding tux to April, was a subtle shot, I thought. Him self-conscious for making fun. That's the one you talked about.
Yeah, that's the chat that I remember seeing.
He didn't wear if it's a tux, he didn't wear the tux pants. But I wonder what that cigarette burn thing was. Detroit by Dark gifting 5 memberships. Sweet Cream Jones gifting 20 Nobody Likes Onions memberships. You guys are nuts.
Sweet Cream Jones. Some of these names are just, they're not right.
No, Coach Cream Jeans. Fuck, I'm having a stroke.
Coach Cream Jeans?
Coach Cream Jeans. I read it completely wrong. I'm a fucking retard. Colin Madden, member for 20 months. I'm not a professional psychiatrist, but I think it's self-evident those courtroom sketches are the crude renderings of a madman. Did you use ink, charcoal, excrement? Safe travels, grande sauce. James Gartner gifting a membership. Colin Madden gifting a membership. Bubble Popper gifting a membership. Big Kahuna, who was at the courthouse today. Patrick, show your sketch of the defendant. I did. Severe-faced man, I rest my breast. I don't know what that means. Queefer, nobody likes Tonians. They mention forcing therapy or not doing a show. No, they didn't mention any of that.
Not at present.
It's basically the same conditions as what he's still under.
Those are options for sentencing. For sentencing to probation, if that continues, the judge would have those options still at her fingertips. She never lost them. They're not negotiated away.
Was Aaron there alone, or did he have supporters, mom, ex-wife, Matt, Johnny, SP, or did he fly solo? He was solo. He had the best lawyer there is, Todd Peterson. He's based. Sounds like the court committed lawfare on the toe. Where did he learn that term?
I don't know, because he uses it so wrong. It's great.
How does he misuse it?
So lawfare is like frivolous civil actions for the purpose of, not for the purpose of winning the civil action, right? Like just for causing distress or costing resources, taking time and attention.
Just havoc.
Yeah. So it's not something that the state tends to do to you because the state is filing criminal charges. It's a completely different concept.
Been away from YouTube. What the fuck is even happening? That's too much to catch you up on.
How many hours do you have?
Yeah, it's not going to happen today. Thanks, Melton. This is friggin' amazing. Glad you and Nick both got to see this in person. Fuck Gino. Yeah, because you guys could have just left, right?
Yeah, I mean, once they weren't doing the sentencing
read
hearing.
her impact statement, then she doesn't need to be there. Why did they let bail diff go with Aaron to the jail? Bail diff. I don't get it. He knew he was going. He totally knew he was going. You could tell by the way he was talking on his last 2 shows. Actions have consequences, pimp. Big ups, gentlemen. Yeah, I mean, something changed this week. But I knew when they were back there for so long and then his lawyer called him out, I was like, something's changed. Like, something's up. And it's not good for him. There's no, the lawyer wants to give you 100 scratch-offs. Or anything like that. Joseph Amos, it's the best 2-year anniversary ever. Well done, Patty Melt. Nick, you look healthy, but then again, anyone does sit next to Melton. Shut up. Shut up, Nick. Nick came with 3 dinners tonight.
I did. I haven't eaten any of them.
He went to Five Guys. He went to Texas Roadhouse?
Yeah, and Buffalo Wild Wings.
And Buffalo Wild Wings.
I wanted a burger and fries.
He met me at the hotel. He gets out of the car covered in wing sauce on his mouth. He's just sipping a milkshake out of a Five Guys cup, and he goes, and I have Texas Roadhouse rolls. What the fuck is going on?
Those rolls are delicious. What's wrong with you?
I've never been. I don't know. I don't think I've been to a Texas Roadhouse. I live in Nevada.
They've got some good stuff. Those rolls are unreal.
Zumach will never get over the fact that Melton was boots on the ground. Well done, boys. Thank you, Iwa. Odin Allfather has become a member. Pink T-Hawk has become a member. Vince Griswold, this will probably be something mean about. Drug-addicted loser, how much celebratory nitrous will you be huffing tonight in victory?
All of it.
We'll have to get some new canisters. JC Walls, if you're lucky, Aaron will choose to go to trial, and Todd will be his trial attorney, and we'll get 2 more years of totainment.
So the funny thing about Todd is I guarantee you that his retainer of $8,000 doesn't include a trial. And so if they do opt to go to trial, or if the judge withdraws the plea, Aaron will have to pay second retainer for the estimated cost of trial, which will probably be at least 50% of the first retainer, maybe more.
Your boy didn't do too bad, did he? Became a member with Aaron's new mugshot. We got a new member. Aquascape A to Z, these guys just keep taking L's, am I right? Yeah, that's what he's going to say. You know it is. Toe is already on Reddit. He can't help himself, says Coco McGee. He's posting on Reddit?
Where? I don't think he posts on Reddit. I think there's probably a sock account, like a fake account.
Easy123 super tips work so smoothly. I am doing it. Thank you, Big Sauce. Thank you. Michael Starr, thank you so much for going out there. Patty Melt, way more drama than I was expecting. You guys don't even know half of it yet. Grizzly Wesley gifting 5 Nobody Likes Onions memberships. Donkey Brains. Aaron may be low income, but he's not low income. I ruined the delivery. Aaron may be low income, but he's not low income. If you know what I mean. Age of Squirrel, can either of you briefly explain what the fuzzy violation was? I asked Chad to explain it on MLC, and he just started stuttering and stammering. That's what he said. The violations of release conditions.
He said they were fuzzy. They weren't fuzzy. They're very clear.
Yeah, the judge seemed to be, again, right off the bat, saying she was. What did she say?
She said the court is not amused.
Not amused, and the prosecutor is not his friend either, no matter what he fucking says. June Cleaver's Beaver became a member. Matthew from Michigan became a member. Wizard Nug 2, do you expect probation violations to be the same or less strict? They're usually the same. They're just right? Like they're usually just carried over. His probation conditions will be the same as his.
Yeah, the probation conditions will have at least a 2-year restraining order built into it, and the terms of his probation will include the same thing. No mentions directly or indirectly, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They could have a prohibition on alcohol for him during his probation, drugs and alcohol, and with testing.
Possibly not streaming now, especially.
Yeah,
the judge and the prosecutor seem very.
So yeah, they could enjoin him from streaming for as long as the judge wants, but reasonably you could expect some multiple of 30 days, 30, 60, 90.
I just expected the prosecutor to not go so hard on him, but she was just like, this is like, he cannot stop.
Yeah.
And she was nonplussed.
The drinking and drugs condition don't require an underlying drinking and drugs crime at all. If the judge determines, maybe from the pre-sentence investigation, for example, if they find out that he's been drinking a lot, and they think, well, maybe the drinking on the show has something to do with his repeated harassment of women, the judge could easily say, your probation, no drugs or alcohol, and you're subject to random testing. Like he doesn't have to be a drug crime.
Jason and Mesa gifting a membership. EFS gifting 10 memberships. Thank you so much, buddy. We really appreciate that. Riles, hey, 10, get to the Stonies story. We're just called 10 now. Mr. Ass 69 became a member. We're through those, and I'm almost afraid to go back to the super tip panel again because, of course, there's 14 of these.
Yo, ho, ho, ho. If OJ had this Peterson guy for a lawyer, he'd have got the chair. I've had public defenders that seem more competent.
Public defenders are often competent. They're just
Your wispy
overworked.
hair blades look like pays. Welcome to the tribe, Mr. French. Mazel tov. I'm sure your landlord is relieved.
She's always relieved. Bob Sacamano, Nick, any new shows lined up with Colonel Kurtz?
No, we've talked about doing one sometime soon. We just haven't put anything down on paper. I've got several interviews that are going to get lined up. I was just kind of waiting for this to end.
Yeah. B. Smiley the third. What a wild week. The fact Gino and Keanu bury Aaron every time they open their mouths is amazing. Keep it up, Gino and Keanu. It's fucking retarded. Leo, I'm just getting online again, but wanted to say P-Melt has amazing instincts and Nick looks great. Fuck you. You sexist shit. Anybody looks good in a suit.
Everyone wrote me off as a slow when I showed those ass cheeks, but I set in motion his Twitch ban that led to all of this. Your boy didn't do too bad, did he? I am Kaiser. So Zay.
Kaiser. So Zay.
If they offered him if they offered him 1 year in prison or he can't do his show for a year, I bet he would take the year in prison.
Yeah, but if he's in prison, he can't do his show either. So it's kind of the same punishment, no?
I think the joke is for all of the side benefits, or maybe the rear benefits of prison.
The ghost of Mr. P. Nick, do you think Aaron could take that BBC? I don't think I'll have a choice.
Yeah, I don't know if they ask.
Stave 28, we all want to hear that Stoney story. It's coming.
The sisters kept at him. Sometimes he was able to fight them off, sometimes not. And that's how it went for Aaron. That was his routine. I do believe those first 2 years were the worst for him.
Yes, of course. Diane, Nick, keep talking law. So hot. This chick's into you. Peter Sky Parker, recreate the hot tub stream tonight, please.
No.
Sending love to Kayla. This stream is epic, you nerds.
Thank you, Tamara Ann.
This chatter says I'm not slow, and my sexy husband is a hero for going to the hearing. Great job, Patty Melt.
Thank you. We tried our best. I wish I would have got more footage of Aaron, but the turn of events today was amazing to watch.
Oh, I get it. You dopes are jealous because you weren't invited to Kirk's Pizza Casserole get-together. Typical. I heard Chris Hansen might be there, but it's not for sure yet. Things are looking up. Yeah, and so why me?
We both aged out of the pizza casserole.
MMC, when I first tuned in for a minute, Nick wasn't talking and had a serious face on. I thought it was footage of him on the witness box. I was thinking, how the heck did Melton pull this off? I don't think he's involved. Brian Landon, nice work, Patrick, even with Nick here. Great show. That's fucking rough. Yeah, let's tell the Stoney's
let's
story. So after the trial, about 10 of us headed to Stoney's. I was there, Nick was there, Kayla was there, Big Kahuna was there, a former Steel Toe fan, Staska was there. I'm going to miss somebody now that I've started naming people.
I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah.
There are about 10 people there.
But Juju G, whose car we were in, she came out. I can't remember. Was Lady Slug there? I think she came.
These names.
Yeah, well,
I don't even remember real names. Like, I can't.
How it works.
I can't follow.
You know how it works. Anyway, the whole crowd, pretty much, most of the people from the courtroom went out to Stoney's. I got there. I was one of the last people to get there. When I walked in, I was like, Cheetos. I'm trying to be gracious to people. First of all, this place is dead.
It's empty.
There's no one
from
there.
Us.
We're the only ones there. This bar has no business going on. And I could just tell immediately Cheetos was not happy about it. He said something about, you losers have nothing to do except go to court. And I was like, Aaron's in jail. And he said, his first thing he said to me, he goes, well, Aaron's a loser too. And I just was like, we're all losers, man. Like, come on. And he goes, yeah, now I'm gonna start getting a million more prank calls. And I just said, like, dude, I don't call here, and I don't encourage people to call here. I'm like, we're just having fun. We want to come see where all the action goes down.
And everybody was exceedingly respectful.
Everyone is respectful and nice. Everyone was buying a drink. Again, your business is fucking dead. Nothing is going on. So I was filming. He got us a drink. Everybody had a drink. You and Kayla didn't have a drink yet, and he came up to you, and what he said was insane.
Yeah, he says to me, "You gonna order something, or are you just standing there taking up space?" It's like this place
is empty.
It's 4,000 square feet, and we take up 100 square feet of it.
Apparently, before we even got there, they were asking to push some tables together. It's much smaller than I pictured. Like, there's literally, it's tight around the bar, and there's just one row of tables around the bar. I don't know how you do a show there and feel like it's weird. Anyway, I can tell he's not fucking happy with me. I'm trying to be friendly. I commented on the good music. I was like, oh man, the beer's cold. I had a beer. I was like, oh man, it's like good cold beer.
Yep.
Nothing. I'm not getting anything back from the guy. I tried, just like with Scott. I was like, I don't prank call here, and I don't tell people that's Chad Zumach who calls your show and fucks with you like that. And he just, you could tell he wasn't happy. He's texting. I'm telling Nick, like, bikers are going to show up here and we're going to have to go.
Did you see he posted in the Towboys Facebook?
No, but this is what I heard, right?
Yeah. So I have the screenshot, which I'll just read the words of what he said. 1 second. It's several people posting, which I won't go through all of them. But so he posts, I think that POS Nick just came into the bar.
So my inclination is that Aaron gave him a heads up. Like, look, they went to Scott's, and maybe even before that.
Well, at this point, so right, I don't have the exact timestamps because of how the group chat. It's just in minutes ago from whenever the screenshot was taken, but 7 minutes prior, they had posted Aaron's booking information. That was 4 minutes before. Sorry, yeah, 4 minutes before Cheetos said, I think that POS Nick just came into the bar. So he was sitting there talking in their group chat or something.
I was late because I was on the phone with Moody and driving carefully, and just wanted. There are cops everywhere here. And the speed limits are low.
And we have an increased speed limit push for the next 6 months.
The speed limits are so low, and there's cops everywhere, especially around downtown St. Cloud. And I get it, like it's near the police station, but like it feels like every other car is a cop.
Yeah,
downtown.
There's
it's
a ton
like
of them.
Fucking insane.
The police station's right by there. Right by the
I get it, but like still, as you approach, but even just driving out to Stoney's, which is in the sticks. But I told Cheetos right away. I was like, if you don't want us here, we'll go. He said, I don't care. And again, why would you? You're a business owner. You must hate money. I don't get it. And so we're looking around at the place. I filmed a little bit, and everyone's talking. I think he doesn't like people are talking about his boy, and he's getting increasingly grumpier and angrier. And every comment to somebody, even when they're ordering at his establishment,
yeah,
he's like total opposite of Scott.
Yeah,
Scott was gracious and kind and friendly and knows this isn't real life. And
when look, I've been doing this a while. You've been doing this a while. I'm watching you. Like, it's pretty obvious that you know exactly how to do this. You go into a place. You're gracious. You're gonna be a patron of the business. You buy something.
We brought 10 people.
Yeah,
your place is empty.
There's $300-400 of business that they wouldn't have sitting right there, just waiting to
Everyone's tipping.
Yep.
Like it.
It was. It's an odd posture to take. I mean, I know he doesn't need the money because he's got a very successful bar, and that's all great. No one's implying that the illustrious Cheeto isn't getting business. But why would you ever turn it down as a business owner?
I start looking around at all the merch, and I go like, hey, do you have hats? I'd love to get a Stoney's hat. Guess what? I'm going to make my own now, you fucking idiot. I might start selling Stoney's hats on my website, just like I did with Aaron's merch a couple years ago. We moved like 38 steel toe hoodies when I just put them in my shop. And he said, yeah, we have hats. And so everybody's getting another drink. People are about to order their second round of drinks. And I go, just a Diet Coke for me. And I'll buy one of your hats. And I see him walk over, and he looks down, and I hear him go, where are the hats? And he goes around the corner, and he comes back with a canned Diet Coke. This is a bar that's so successful, their guns don't work. They have guns, but they don't work. He probably doesn't want to clean the lines. He doesn't want to keep the syrup stocked. And he cracks open a Diet Coke, and he goes, I don't think I want you advertising my bar. And I go, come on, I'll just wear a hat. Like, I'll wear it on the stream or something. Like, it's not like I'm advertising your bar. It's not like I'm going around Vegas telling people, like, you ever in Rockville, Minnesota, you got to go to Stoney's. You got to go to Stoney's.
That's
and again, he's been getting grumpier and grumpier the whole time we're there. And he goes, yeah, but I don't want a pedo advertising my bar. And I just go, I'm not a pedo, right? Like,
he
this
denies
is
it, chat.
I was like, this is something like idiots say because they're out of insults. Like, Aaron told you that? And he goes, yeah, Aaron says you're a pedo. And I go, so based on nothing, you just let Aaron brainwash you? The minute I said you let Aaron brainwash you, he turned into an angry simpleton. I didn't peg him as like retarded. But
notice he didn't stop at saying I didn't peg him.
He was talking to us normally, even though he's not being friendly and kind of being an asshole. But like as soon as I said you've been brainwashed by Aaron, he grabbed the Coke off the counter that he already opened, and he was like, huh. I was like, oh no. and then and he goes, don't call me brainwashed. And I was like, oh boy. Did I just I saw retard strength coming out, and I was
he went Cro-Magnon man on you,
and he was just like, I'm old enough to think for myself. You don't call me brainwashed. And he started walking around the counter at me. I don't know what stopped him, either the fact that we had 10 people there or the fact that I'm much bigger than him.
Yeah, he was what?
Probably a combination of both.
5'8", 5'9".
He's one of those idiots. I saw his instinct kick in, and he wanted to fight me, and he started coming around the counter at me. And he's just like, "Don't say brainwashed. Don't say brainwashed. I'm not brainwashed. I can think for myself." And I was just like,
yeah, but who traumatized you with the brainwash accusation?
And I go, but the reason you're not telling me I had is because someone told you I'm a pedo. It's like, how many pedophiles do you think come in this place and don't tell you?
Don't answer that, Mr. Cheetos.
And then he goes, you gotta go. And I go, fair enough. Walking out, and he goes, you gotta leave. And I go, yeah, I'm heading that way. And he goes, you fat piece of shit. And by the way, he's a fat piece of shit.
I did, in fairness. I said, he is fat, though. When he called you fat.
Of course.
Yeah.
This isn't breaking news, Dabblever.
I don't get it. So the weird thing was, while he was really pissed at you and everybody else.
Then he kicked everyone out.
Yeah.
I like my bar empty. Like I like my wallet. Like, what the fuck?
So first, though, he's when he was pissed at you and the other people who traveled out of stage, like, I could think of a bunch of other stuff to do. He looks at me and Kayla and he says, you guys, it makes sense to be there. But he was still mad. But he was like, it makes sense for you to be at the court, but these other people should have better things to do. I'm like, she's the victim of Aaron's crime, right? And he's like, yeah, that's why it makes sense. I'm like, okay, as long as you got that down. Like, we're not being hostile.
No one was being hostile, and he ramped it up. It got worse and worse until he kicked everyone out.
He's the guy, right? Like,
I just was like, this guy's got a gun, but you say he can't have a gun.
I don't think he can, because I think that he's been charged with a DUI recently, and it's like stacks of them. So he's got to be at the gross misdemeanor and felony levels.
The guy just looked like microwave shit. I mean, he was in a sleeveless shirt. I got video. He's got long gray ponytail.
So I was
just like, to call me fat. It's like, yeah, at least I'm tall. You're built like a golf ball. Like it was insane. It's like, that's what you came up with, fat? I'd stick with the pedo thing.
So weird. So I was at a live event of another creator, and
cheating on me?
Not me, but someone I know was on acid. Someone handed out acid. I did not do acid at that point. Like, so I didn't have any or anything, but this person did, and they were convinced.
No acid for me, please.
They were convinced that another person there was a pedophile, and they just sat there for hours, juicing themselves up like motherfucker. Like, and that's exactly like my brain went right back to that moment, because that's what Cheeto looked like. He's like,
this was the definition of making him feel like. We watched his anger just ramp up. And again, I don't know. No one was not being friendly. No one was not tipping. Everyone there was in a good mood. And this guy was just getting progressively angrier and angrier. At some point, another customer came in and sat on the other side of the bar. And he was over there just venting to him. I could hear him. Like, these fucking guys are here.
Must have been texting his therapist.
These guys are here to make fun of me. It's like, yeah.
So Kayla and I, again, patroning the bar, got drinks. I got a cherry Coke, right? Our bill was $10. So I
handed him a 20.
I didn't want to like get my credit card and make a big
I didn't want to
thing
get
out
my
of it.
credit card there.
So it's just like, hey babe, do you have $20? And we'll just give $20 and you can keep the change. And so she's going through her purse, and he comes up. He's like, "That'll be $10." I'm like, "Yeah, just a second. Like, come on."
The bar's empty. First of all, he harassed you about buying a drink. Second of all, he couldn't wait for you to return to the bar and pay. He walked out from around the bar and came to the table. I was like, "You got to pay, you know." It's like, dude, like,
what if we wanted more drinks?
How is your business
or food?
How is your business running like this? Like, what the fuck is happening right now?
It was wild. He threw you out. Like,
so he threw me out. So I went out and made some more videos out on the sidewalk. I was waiting for him to come out and be like, you can't be here. I'm like, this is the sidewalk. I wanted more confrontation, but I was kind of worried that he could have a pistol or a shotgun.
I was just sitting there, just I was
ball
baffled.
bearings.
I was just baffled at the whole thing. And
it's the middle of the day, no one's in your bar, and 10 people walk in, and you run them all out.
That's a great thing for a daytime bar to have happen.
And I hope all 10 people who were there don't leave a Yelp review about the experience.
I wasn't going to say anything about it at all, but the moment he kicked everybody out, it's like, oh, well, now I have to go on Twitter and say, we just got kicked out of Stoney's. Like,
Nick comes out and he's like, does Stoney's have a Twitter? I'm like, who knows?
I hoped you did. I was like, come on. I need to know. I want to tag him so he knows that was dumb.
I'm sure he'll get tons of props from Aaron. Like, yeah. Thanks for having my back. Unlike Scott, I'm going to start boxing at your bar.
I can't wait for your Scott interview to come out because I was there the whole time laughing. Like, I can't believe this is happening right now. I can't believe what he's saying. He's just saying it all. It's amazing.
It's amazing. Tech guy says, I'll buy a hat if it says I stubbed my toe at Stoney's. Drive-by. Sorry, that was Tech guy. This is Drive-by with $50. Thanks for the post-hearing live stream. Justice for Kayla. Yes, justice for Kayla. I'm going to give half these super tips to Nick, and it'll pay for his 3 dinners tonight.
Almost.
Fucking piece of shit. George sent you an email. You guys made the news 15.
We did?
We did? I'll look at that in just a second. Or Nick can look it up. News 15. Bang, you died. John Taffer needs to check out Stoney's. Maybe that was that reporter in there.
Maybe.
But why would we make the news?
Wait, is it Will Heron? Is he News 15?
I don't have a clue. Who's Will Heron? Compound Media. This is I don't know if this is real Compound Media. Anthony Cumia. Aaron just sent me a text. It said get busy living or get busy dying. I don't know if there's a way to know if this is real Compound Media. If that's true, it's insane. This guy just got out of jail and he's messaging Anthony Cumia, who, by the way, has called you a weird planet.
No, a comet.
A weird comet.
That everyone forgets about for 75 years at a time.
He's coming around again. He's on the circuit. He has the right icon, and Anthony Cumia doesn't super tip. He always super chats. So this could actually be Anthony Cumia. Again, the fact that he probably will go on Kevin Brennan tomorrow. He'll probably this guy's a fucking idiot.
I think it's a Shawshank quote. Is that the chat saying
no,
it's a joke?
Get busy living or get busy dying. Oh, okay. Got a joke. Yeah. Sorry, I took the text thing literally. I was like, if he's really just like, hey man, did you see what I did? Did you see what happened with me?
Can you say I was in Compound Media now? I filled in on your show and you paid me one time?
I got a job bagging groceries down at the Food Way.
And then there was Aaron. Good old Aaron.
He couldn't do it. He couldn't do the Brooks. He couldn't do the Brooks.
So may I ask the counselor a question? He denied service to Melton because he thought Melton does the no-no with the younglings. Because Aaron told him this. Is there a lawsuit here?
You idiots. Cheeto's wife left him because he is a Trump supporter. She said he was Brian washed, and she left him. Oh, and Nick, I also sent him Kayla's photo. Allegedly. So I've been told.
I will say this. The more Aaron calls me this, and the more it has ramifications outside of his show, with people saying I'll never use super tips because he's a pedophile, or I'm getting kicked out of establishments because of what Aaron has said. And again, Cheetos' words, Aaron said you are. It's like, this is where it starts to become like, okay, you're damaging. I'll shut up. Painkiller, you did 2 episodes on Cheetos' fingernails.
Did you really?
Yeah, that doesn't mean first of all, he got mad that he was like, you said I was brainwashed. And I was like, you called me a pedophile. I was still going to buy a drink, you stupid idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even kidding. He didn't strike me as retarded. And when he changed, he got very, very mad about that.
You know, the quality of that bar, I mean, nothing there is over 12 years. So I think it's right up your alley.
Get the fuck out of town. Not even the scotch. Monkeypox. Are the Stony hats going to come with a bag of Cheetos? Probably.
It's okay, Patrick. I called the health department, and they will most likely be handing Cheeto a heavy fine or shutting him down. That's how you train low lives.
Thanks, Michael Ray Bauer. Tech guy, the intervention will have one of 2 outcomes. No outcomes. Aaron takes down the shows, or Aaron treats himself as he did for narcissism and announces he's now fine. Yeah, he'll announce that, like, I got to do therapy again for a week. Stoney's Bar and Grill, fuck you, we are PCI compliant. I still wouldn't trust him with my credit card.
I didn't even know if you could turn down a pedo in June. I thought it was their month.
I'm not doing this with you. This is turning into fucking me. We won't be sharing any of the super tips with Nick.
It was worth it. It was worth it.
B Smiley, the best part is Aaron did all this to himself. Yeah, I think that's the lesson here. Is it?
Yeah, all he had to do was
everything to himself.
Like, so he commit the crime. He said he didn't know it was a crime or whatever. But the court then told him very specifically what not to do, and he just couldn't do it. And it's amazing how everybody else who's ordered to do that just does it. Like, they just...
Right.
Even people who aren't ordered to do that do it because it's the smart thing to do.
How would that work on radio? If you ever go back to radio and your program director or the station manager or the owner of the media company tells you not to do something and you're not able to control yourself. It just shows a lack of impulse control.
Well, if they do that, he can always just leave, some tissues on their desk every night.
Yeah, that's insane. The Smoking Lesbo, thank you both for this. Justice for Lady Rackets. I stand with anyone but AI. Like your suit, Nick Rekieta.
Thank you.
It does look like it's real Compound Media. Sorry, I didn't get the joke at first. I was so focused on you saying that Aaron sent you a text. I was like, what? He's out of jail and he's sending texts to people who don't even appreciate him. MBU became a new member. Thank you very much. And I think we're all caught up, finally. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts are Aaron thought this was over, which was dumb on its face. Even if it went exactly as he thought it was thought it would go. He has 2 years of probation, and then he has any number of other things. Like I said, he has accused me of giving my daughter cocaine. He's used his position to try and make people believe that that's true. There are several people who apparently believe such an absurd thing. But he's also expressed that he doesn't actually believe it himself, which was the dumbest thing he could do. So he's setting himself up for civil suits left and right. And if he thinks this is over, he calls me an addict all the time. Did you hear what he said the other day? Anger is an addiction. Oh, it is. It is an addiction. I'm an addict, Aaron. Remember? You fucking idiot.
I did get a card from Mark. I have not opened this yet and seen it. Mark's the guy who took our cell phones out. He's the one that's come to Aaron's hearings before and fed me a lot of valuable intel. I'm expecting this to be loaded with cash. It says thank you on the card. It's an American greetings. He didn't splurge for a Hallmark, but we'll forgive it. I expect. And they're just like I thought, $100. What a mensch this guy is.
You need to rip that in half and give half to me.
No, it's never happening. Thanks for the lunch invite traveling to cover the trial and all of the coverage you have done. Thank you, Mark, for all the valuable information and just being a fan. And it was great to meet you. And maybe we'll be back in October and do it again. I hope so. It was a good time. Obviously, we won't be able to go to see Cheetos again. I don't think we're going to be welcome.
You can win them over by October. You want me to do it?
What do I have to do?
I'm charming.
What do I have to do?
I don't know.
I don't know. You were kicked out too. I guess we weren't trespassed.
Yeah, no cop showed up or anything.
Yeah. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be
I
here.
can charm Cheeto. That's no problem. I'll just dress myself up as a beer with a steering wheel. He'll have his hands all over me.
A couple of buzzer beaters coming in. Still no word from April. Do you think she's aware of any of this? Maybe watching from afar. I don't know how she could not be curious and just, especially when there's like a big event. I mean, look, she may not be on top of it, but I bet every once in a while she just checks in to see what pile of shit he keeps stepping in. Like she has to. I can't imagine not.
Like I said, the last time I talked to her, she said she just wanted to move on from everything, and she had deleted all of her social media. So I imagine that I can't imagine she doesn't know at least tangentially what's going on, but I think she's probably just staying out of it.
She's probably so happy to be gone and not involved in it.
I would think so.
I mean, I'll feel about Minnesota tomorrow.
She was subpoenaed in the case, and if the case goes to trial, she would likely be subpoenaed as a witness again. So she may be informed by the court of what's going on, depending on how things go between now and October.
Was she part of the pre-sentence investigation? Do we know?
I have no idea. Nothing about that is public.
You were part of it?
No, I don't. I wasn't.
No. I thought that they talked to anybody he was in a relationship with or something like that.
I think I could have maybe submitted something, but no, like the actual requests. I think I know that, or Kayla had one. They asked her about it, but I don't know if they asked anybody else specifically. I mean, to me, they had the domestic violence assessment. I would think they would talk to April, Ashley, maybe even SP. But I don't know. None of that stuff is public, and it never will be.
Tech guy, Kumi, if you're watching, these two WABC guests waiting to happen. I'll fly to New York and be on that. Just because it'll make Chad lose his fucking mind mostly. But also, Anthony Kumi, I listened to Anthony Kumi for a long time.
Cheeto's got the true code on his car. I told him he was brainwashed. He didn't like that.
I had a good conversation with Kumi on my show when Chrissy did the Content House down in Florida. And she took a YouTube ban like right before the Content House started. And so I think they ended up doing it on Rumble or doing it on Compound or something. But I had a real great conversation actually with Kumia and Gino Bisconti, who had a much different sort of disposition towards me at the time, we'll say. But it was awesome. Kumia was really cool.
I almost said I met him at DabbleCon last year, but I don't think a lot of myself, so I would never walk up and be like, "Hi, I'm Patrick. Nobody likes that." Like
I walk up and tell people I'm Patrick.
I just observe from afar and kind of stay out of people's way and try not to fangirl out about stuff. But I went to his house a couple times when he lived out in Long Island for Legion of Skanks shows when he used to have them out there. But I doubt he remembers any of that either. But he watches my show in Super Chat sometimes. That's it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
They say don't meet your heroes. Let's just keep it like this, Kumia. You just keep sending me money. That's what we want.
And Kumia, he'll keep sending you nudes. I'll make sure of it.
He hates fat people. He's like you. All right, Nick, thank you so much for doing this. I know you guys got to get home. You got children to look after, and thanks for your wife letting you do this. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, just a huge thank you to everybody who I get so many messages that just say that y'all have Lady Rackets is back, and there's so many out there who were just hoping for some sort of justice. And I mean, who knows what will end up happening, but it was really nice to see the Stearns County Attorney's Office and the judge actually working.
Like, we're cutting super tips off. No more super tips.
Actually, like doing the thing. It really made it feel like her voice is heard rather than snuffed out. And so thanks to everybody who's sending in support that way. I appreciate it.
One final membership question. Nick, do you think that Aaron may not be a good person? You ever thought about that?
I don't think he's good.
Did you ever think about that?
I love yummy cummy in my tummy. Yummy, yummy cummy in my tummy. Favorite.
Goes to Mr. P. F all that. Chad's pushed me downstairs. Do you see what I'm saying, Mr. P? Let's call it a wrap. Bill Cooper, April is Diane. Oh, that would make a lot of sense, actually. Diane says, am I the only one getting wet right now, Nick? I have a place you can stutter.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
Got him. Holy shit. This does sound a lot like her tweets.
Oh, Aaron won't shut up about me, and I'm traumatized. Now, go on Fuck's show and talk about my trauma.
Nobody wants that, Kiki. We're just going to let you get the next Gabe Hoffman.
Damn it, I was going to say, why don't you interview Gabe again? You guys are great together.
Smoking Lesbo says, love to Kayla. Thank you, Smoking Lesbo. She's in the other room. She hears us talking about her. Love to Kayla. All right. We're going to get out of here. I have a flight to catch early. I'm going to try to get a couple hours of sleep. And it's almost 9 p.m. I told some guys we might go out to dinner, but I honestly don't think we are. So
I'm not. I've got 3 dinners.
Well, I didn't mean you. No one's going to believe you had 3 dinners.
Well, I didn't have them. I have them. I haven't eaten them.
Well, they're car food. All right, we're getting out of here. Thank you guys so much. I have a lot of stuff to bring you when I get back to Vegas. We probably have content for all next week to go over. We'll do something every day. I've been to places I haven't even mentioned, and I think I made the most of the time. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you soon.